Hello, useless fodder here. Tonight we are going to be doing something a little bit special. We're going to be hosting an Arma 3 SQF scripting workshop. So the whole goal of this workshop is to basically help you guys learn to, I'll say script better, but that's not clearly, that's not fair to say. It's my goal to help you guys take shortcuts, find new ways to do things within scripting. This is one of a series of workshops that I would like to do here. It's a live stream format because I'd like it to be collaborative. I want you guys to be able to ask questions and we can answer them right here on the stream. It is not showing me my chat, so let me pull that up. Cool, excellent. Hey, what's up, Hoodle? I don't know why my chat docker has suddenly decided to just disappear entirely as an option, but you know, it is what it is. Basically we've got a number of questions that have been asked. I put a poll out on Twitter and in the Discord, discord.gg/useless fodder, by the way, if you'd like to join us in the future. Yeah, I'll go to sleep with you, Paulie. That sounds weird when I say it out loud. But basically I put a poll out for questions that people have. We're going to try to answer those questions. We're also going to work on a script for something that I've wanted for a long time that might exist in Arma 3 right now. Somewhere else, but I've never seen anyone actually pull it off. I want to try to write a script that causes a squad in Arma 3 to more realistically move and shoot as a squad as you would expect it to do. That is, breaking down into two teams and leapfrogging between where they're at and where they want to go. So essentially give them a move command and they will automatically have one stop moving, lay down fire, and the other one will run forward for a certain distance, lay down, then they start firing, then the first one that was laying down will then pass it. I think it'd be fun to do to try to pull that off. What's up, by the way, Duskull? And see if we can make something like that here in Arma 3 scripting. So some of the basics, we are going to be using Notepad++ here. I know I'm going to zoom in also because I know it's a little bit hard to see on the stream. I know some people prefer other things to do scripting. I'd love to hear what you guys use in the chat because I've always used Notepad++. I've heard some other people have some different programs. Sorry, I was reading my chat while doing that. Some different programs that you could use. Feel free to tell me. This is collaborative. It's meant to be something that where we can all learn together. So first off, let's start with our first question. And we're not gonna do this one. Let's go to let's go with this question asked by Mashdor, who just thanks for the retweet, Mash. I'm not sure if you're in here. This question says, is there a way to speed up Arma 3 scenario development, such as real-time loading, to avoid the waiting times typically associated with loading the scenario? So first off, I'll say my answer is going to be rather simple. I am a WYSIWYG sort of guy. I focus on making scripts that work, but maybe are not the fanciest looking scripts, or maybe follow 100% of all of the best practices, but get there when they need to be. What I've found to, I'm just gonna leave this up on screen for now. What I've found to increase my speed for making stuff in Arma 3, especially when I'm working on large scenarios that take a while to load, like my overrun scenario or the dynamic horror operation scenario, that take a while to do that. I've found that creating scripts that intentionally call your script and take in, basically set things up for the script that you would like to test, and then can call that just from the in-game executable, is probably the fastest way that I've found to work through scripting errors. So I'll give an example. I have a script that spawns a bunch of enemies in a zone that's passed in for my dynamic horror ops. Sorry, let me know if the music's too loud on the back end. What's up, Alias? What's up, Scarecrow? Mods are asleep, everyone post bad links. No, don't do it. What's up, Spooky? In that scenario that I was making, in that mission I was making, there was a randomly selected, it's dynamic horror operation, so it randomly selects a location on the map, and then it passes that into a number of other scripts, and through all those scripts you get all the details you need to run a script that will then basically generate a bunch of enemies in that location. being able to just execute that script from the escape menu, from the executable in the escape menu, would take a little bit of time. It's a little bit more difficult to remember exactly what you need, like trying to get a location, to find a location object and put it in there, and then to basically fill in all the parameters you would need took a while. So instead what I did is I created a subscript that was just a testing script, and essentially I would go into the map, I would teleport myself to a location, and the script would automatically pull the nearest location from me. I would give it a number of enemies to spawn, and then it would fill out all the rest of the parameters for me. And what I was able to do with that is I could then, go to a location that I thought might have a problem, like maybe it was near a cliff, and they would spawn off the cliff, or it didn't have any buildings. I needed to test what would happen if there were no buildings when the script looks for buildings, that sort of thing. And then I would just run my helper script, my little test script, and I would get the errors. I'd look through the errors, make some changes, immediately try to run that script again, get more errors, and I would just work through it. And because I didn't have to worry about loading up and tearing down my scenario over and over, then that helped me to reduce the amount of time it took to fix that script. If I had to completely reload every single... Hey! Vaultius, 14 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Didn't know it's been this long.
It's been this long. Thank you so much. Greetings, Alias Alpha. Uses Flutter set greetings. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are hilarious. Thank you so much. I appreciate the 14 months, Vault. Let's get some salutes in chat, if you would. Yeah, so that to me is what I think. Mash's question is probably looking for a more technical solution, but I promise you that the simplest thing you can do is set up your scripts in a way that you can easily test them without having to re-log into your scenario. Even better, if your scripts are compartmentalized enough to where you can actually just open up any map and test them with your helper script. That helps me a lot also, because then that means that I'm not worrying about the interactions of all of my scripts together. I only have to worry about the one script I'm trying to fix. For instance, once again, for dynamic horror ops, the location finding algorithm had a ton of issues to start out with, and it actually was having problems on specific maps, but also having problems with the scripts that it was executing. Basically, it would start looking for locations, and in the process of looking for locations, it started executing additional scripts along the way, but those scripts were having errors that were not returning the right stuff, and actually would then kill the script halfway through. But it was impossible for me to tell exactly what was happening until I pulled that script out, compartmentalized it, and then was just testing just the location finding with some very obvious indicators on the map. Once I did that, I found what the issue was, and an issue that had been plaguing me for about an hour of troubleshooting, I was able to find in about 2 minutes by compartmentalizing and testing on just an open map. So this is the initial question right here, Doskull. It's a giant tweet behind me, exactly. Okay, so we have a bunch more questions that we'll get to. I'm going to set that aside for now. I want to talk about Notepad++ and how I like to run my scripts. So I did download, as I said, the SQF syntax highlighter for Notepad++. I'm going to put this in chat. There are a few of them that do this, but I will tell you that this is go to chat. This is my favorite. This is my favorite one that I run. I've tried a number of them. They all work reasonably well. But what I like about this is it also includes the Bicky search that you can do automatically for a search engine. And as well as some like open lace logs. So I'd recommend following this if you're using Notepad++. I put it in chat. I'll put it in the description of this as a video for later on. Okay. So let's start with oh yeah, one other thing before we get started on our script that we're making for tonight. Like I said, feel free to ask your questions in chat. I'll try to keep up on it. And watch it. Sorry, because my chat's not actually like on my stream, it's making it a little bit harder to see. I'm going to try to take the chat out of this one and just, there we go. That's going to be a little bit easier. Oh, there we go. Cool. No, that didn't work. That's not what I wanted. Hang on. I'm too dumb to know what I'm doing. Why can I not hide this? That's okay. We're just going to do it this. Do like that. That's fine. That's fine. We're just going to leave it right there. Cool. So I like to try to write scripts that are useful in a lot of different ways. So for instance, when I made dynamic horror operations, I wanted that that particular scenario to be able to feed into other scenarios. For instance, the location selection algorithm, I wanted to be relatively vanilla enough to where I could use that as a location selection algorithm with parameters that I could pass in for any sort of dynamic operation. It didn't have to be a dynamic core operation. It didn't even have to be that sort of that type of mission. But it's important to encapsulate your scripts enough to where you can pick them up and use them, because I'm a firm believer that not only as you script more are you going to become a better and better just at Arma scripting, but also you can build up a backlog of scripts that you don't have to reinvent every time you want to do something, a new scenario that's similar to what you did before. So in that way, I have a scripts folder that I put all of my, I can't make this really, there we go. All of my scripts that I find myself using a lot. For instance, description.ext, this is basically just respawn on start. It sounds dumb, but I always forget every time I make a new mission, I always forget to create a description.ext that has respawn start equals -1. So I just have this as my description.ext. So anytime I start a new scenario, I just grab this and put it in automatically. One of the first things I do with a new scenario. An explosion detection SQF file. I have a variety of different ways that I've determined on how to figure out if somebody uses an explosion, like a satchel charge or something like that. And so I've got several explosion detection scripts that I can just pull from. And it sounds dumb, like, yeah, of course, why wouldn't you just keep those? But at least for me, it was always hard to remember where I had used a script previously, especially because I script sometimes on my desktop, which is where I'm sitting at now. Sometimes I script on my laptop while I'm sitting in bed, though. Yes, I am a nerd that does Arma 3 scripting in bed, in a big bed with my wife. It is true, but that's what I do. And so because of that, it's easy to lose track of like which mission did I make that script in, where did I do that. So by putting it in its own little folder, it makes it pretty easy. And then you can also go ahead and make a GitHub, which I have done as well, for scripts that you use all the time. Am I gonna be able to find it right now? I gotta pull my GitHub here real fast. But we have for the FOD squad scripts that people work on together, and so it's helpful to have something, because then I can just push any changes of my scripts automatically to the GitHub, to the Git, and then be fine. Where is my? Yep. So we have this FS A3 scripts, and what's nice is that Ray, who makes a bunch of missions for us, also puts his scripts in there. So that's how we can keep track of that. So I've got like I'm trying to remember which one of these I added. Anyway, it's a useful way to do it. Those are just some ways that I recommend as you do more. This message engineer one I use constantly for multiplayer. Basically, it's just the way to put a title text on screen for everyone that you can remote exec. And it sounds dumb, but it's just nice to have, right? Like anyone within a certain distance of a location that you give, or a 3-parameter location that you give, you'll be able to do a title text. So it's just little simple things like that. That once you save them on player respawn here, here's my saved loadout, basically. For like when you close your arsenal, it'll automatically save your loadout. Sounds dumb, but it's very helpful to have on hand, so I can take the int player local and the basically anytime I start a new mission, I'll have these 3 automatically just pulled right in. That way I don't have to worry about the description, so they're always going to respawn correctly, and I don't have to worry about the arsenal. When they close arsenal, they'll respawn with the stuff that they last closed the arsenal and they had. So those are just basic ones that every time I play, I pull them in. Makes it way easier. Also, I have like a little text with the arsenal, how to make arsenal objects, because it saves you time. You save a lot of time not having to look this stuff up every time you want to start a new mission, which for me is all the time. So let's go ahead and start our new idea of how to do better squad movement. Why am I forgetting the? It's not leapfrogging. What's the term? Why am I forgetting the military term for this? Squad movement leapfrog. It's not called leapfrog. What's it? Okay, the buddy system. Bounding Overwatch. There we go. Bounding Overwatch. Thank you, Wikipedia. Thanks for saving my life. Bounding Overwatch is the system that we're going to try to build today. And hopefully it will be... Thank you. Thank you, Alias Hoodle. Thank you so much. Alias said, I've been doing mission making for 10 years and only made a dedicated scripts folder outside of mission folders last year. Dude, it helps you so much. Helps you so much. Damn. No. You guys also did a good job, chat. I just found it at the same time as you said it. You guys, Alias and Hoodle, you're my heroes. Be nice to yourselves. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into Arma. We're going to unload our mods here, unload all. And we're going to load just 3D and enhanced and CBA. CBA. Cool. And then we'll just load Ace because it makes things a little bit easier. You don't have to use Ace, but there's a couple of things that I find make it a little bit easier to work with Ace, specifically some of the stuff you could do with Zeus. So we'll go there, make sure to turn off the parameter that goes automatically to this mission file, and we'll load that up. So I always use 3D enhanced. I don't know if you guys do, but it just makes mission making so much easier. It doesn't add any, it doesn't create any dependencies in the actual mission file. The only dependency it builds is in the editor itself. Hey Scooby, what's up? Yes, Scooby, I am going to make this into a YouTube video with the questions and timestamp in the description. How did you know? Thank you for saying that. No advanced developer tools? I don't know that one. Can you link it, Doskal? Oh, Wiki 1 chat 0. That's hilarious, Thigh. Welcome, by the way, Drago. Honestly, it wasn't Wiki. It wasn't Wikipedia. It was even Google that gave that to me. So we're going to be doing a lot of flashing back and forth between Arma and the desktop. So sorry if you guys, have to deal with that. It is what it is. So go editor. I don't know why, but I always like to do mine on Malden. Maybe because it's just a small map. Virtual reality is probably the best, but Malden has actual locations. It has height and all that sort of stuff to deal with. So why is my chat hiding? My chat is hid again. See, it's going to... Advanced developer tools. Let's check it out. Arma 3... Advanced developer tools. See, this is why I honestly, okay, so I'm gonna let you guys in a little hint. I'm doing this scripting workshop so I can learn a bunch as well. I don't know if you know that, but I have a lot of people who follow me who are really good scripters, and so by doing this workshop, they can teach me things. Advanced developer tools looks pretty good. Add-ons, complete new and revamped developer tools to the game. A debug console with syntax heist, config viewer. Oh, a faster config viewer. That's nice. This looks very useful. Does it make a, I think this is more of a mod thing, right? But does this make a, oh, this is kind of cool. Does this make dependencies when you're working on stuff? That's my real question. That's the question I asked to thee. Hail to thee. Where'd my chat go? My chat closed. Good. Never guessed. That's hilarious. No, put Notepad++ into there. That's pretty good. Yep. Okay, well that's I'll add that to my favorites and check that out at a later date. Here's the file for anyone who's looking. That's the Steam page for that. Cool, looks good. I've literally never heard of this before, so thank goodness you guys are here. What were we doing? Oh yeah, we're here. Back in Arma, loading Malden. It will happen. Cool, excellent. So let's go ahead and set ourselves up with a nice flat spot. Sometimes airports are the best to do this. I don't remember if there is even... Yeah, there's an airport. I was like, I don't remember if there's an airport. Of course there's an airport. Let's put down our favorite NATO guy, squad leader. Cool. So he's there. Okay. And scenario, save as. I'm going to put in my missions folder, even though there's so much crap in here. We're going to call this... our scripting workshop, and I'm not going to binarize the scenario file because it makes it easier to edit in a text editor if you don't do that. Cool. So now the scenario is saved. We'll go here. We'll go to open scenario folder, which I think is Alt O, right? It actually opens in Windows the folder itself where you have created your file in. Cool. Hey, Dobby! What's up, Dob? Long time no see. Faster config viewer. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I mean, I don't ever make mods, so it doesn't really affect me, but I could see why that would make things nice. And we're going to go ahead and do what I said, which is copy these 3 files directly in here so that I know that I have that set up. I don't really need it for what I'm working on today, but it is nice to do. So we're going to go new. I'm going to make a text document, and we're going to call this bounding.sqf. Cool. We're probably going to have to make more than one file today. So now that we have bounding.sqf in here, so let me demonstrate what I'm thinking we're going to do in here. Hey, it's Requiem. Long time. How you been? That's someone who digs through configs often, yeah.
Have no fear,
Hey, Hoodle.
Wow.
Wow. 21 months, my friend. Ace Arsenal preloading. That sounds nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can I get lots of salutes and patches in chat for the folks that have them? Okay, so here's my thought. What we're going to do is we'll do some little green dudes, okay? So, oh, that's not what I was looking for. Can we fill? I don't actually know. Fill. Thank you, solid fill. Don't feed fill. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go with a 5% because this is going to be kind of nice. So here's my idea. Here's our soldiers, right? I don't know why I made them so big on this, but whatever. Here's our soldiers. So basically the way the script's going to go is it's going to give them... You're going to feed in a location you want them to go on the script. Okay? I'll probably make this black. So they're going to get a location that you want them to go in script. And then what the script is going to do is it's going to take this squad and it's going to divide it into... Oh, don't mind that. Divide it into 2 squads. So it'd be squad 1 and this would be squad 2, right? Because there is no ability to sub squad, the right dot is that's so you, Polly. That's good. Thank you so much, guys. So you can divide them into squad 1 and squad 2. It's going to tell squad 1 to go into combat mode. Okay, so they're going to be combat mode. And it's going to prevent them from being able to path. So we're going to take away their AI's ability to path, right? So they're just going to do that. They're going to hang out, and they're going to go into combat mode or combat behavior. Squad 2, on the other hand, is going to go immediately into careless, full speed running. And they're going to pick, they're going to get the direction towards this point, okay? And they're going to move towards that point. Now, if the point's just right in front of them, like there's going to have to be a buffer around this point, because if the point's right in front of them, then obviously they'll run in front of these guys, right? And they'll get shot. So it's got to be a bit of a distance. I presume it's going to have to be probably more than 50 meters for the script to continue working. Basically, a squad 2 is going to start running towards that. And then we're either going to make a certain amount of distance or a certain amount of time to be able to check. I think probably time makes the most sense, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Basically, the script will then sit there and run every however many 1 second, we'll say, probably sleep for 1 second, until one of these 2 things is achieved. And then we will reverse the roles. So 2 will become combat and lay down. Combat and remove their pathing. 1 will get their pathing back, go to careless and full sprint mode, and then they will start running towards that. And then it will be this slightly long. It'll be a longer, probably double the amount of time of what 2's was. Okay, because basically the way it's going to go, if I can expand this out here a little bit. Thanks for the green, I appreciate that. So basically, what's going to go is 1 and 2, right? 2's going to move up for a distance and then stop here. If one can either go to the same spot, which is not bad, or we can have 1 go maybe double and go here, right? And then 2 would have to have that same amount of distance, this amount right here, to then make it to the next point. So you can either do kind of the inchworm where they're equal, or you can do one where it goes past it. I don't know what you'd call that. And then of course this would be like this, right? And they keep moving forward. And then once they get within a certain distance of the X, you have to remember what the initial squad setup was, specifically who the leader is of the squad. And then once they get to within whatever that buffer zone is, you would then merge these back into a single squad, make this squad leader the squad leader again, and then Basically, make sure that you enable pathing, put them back into the previous mode, all this sort of stuff. So you got to get a bunch of information in the beginning. That's step one, is get all the information about the squad, save it somewhere, have them run this whole thing, and then eventually, you know, basically reform the squad of what it is. Now, there's going to be some things you got to worry about. What if they can't get there? There's I don't know. I can't get there in a reasonable amount of time. Obviously, you don't want this to run forever, so you'll have to decide a certain amount of time. Maybe it can't be farther than a certain distance, or it can't run past, like, we'll say 600 seconds or something, right? Because that would be like 10 minutes. So that's the sort of stuff that we should think about. The idea for me is that we create something that will be relatively resilient. So, for instance, we want these guys to be able to move while under fire. Right now, in Arma, it's really hard to get soldiers to move while under fire because they just want to lay down and return fire, right? That's what they do. It does pretty well, Ray. Somebody made a joke at your expense earlier, just so you know. I won't say who it was, but it was probably... Well, I won't say who it was. My thought is by putting them in this careless mode, by them being in careless mode, it's going to help us to get them to move, because in careless they don't really care that they're getting shot at. We need them to just keep running. So careless mode full speed should cause them to keep moving full speed. Now we should probably test that before we get a bunch of scripting going. So let's go ahead and hop in here. We'll get a squad. First off, let's actually make ourselves a beggar here, just because that's gonna make it a little easier. Let's get a squad of rifle. Oh no, we'll just do a fire team here. We'll put them as full speed, careless, and where is standing? Okay, cool. So they should move there. Okay, and let's get a sentry group here. Let's make one of them. He sees them. Okay, well, let's test this out. I'm pretty sure it works the way that we want it to. Okay, so it should be careless. Why are you not moving full speed? So it's still moving, which is good. He died. Why are you not running full speed is the question you gotta ask yourself. They seem to have lost their mission. They seem to have lost their way. They do move at less speed. Okay. So that puts a wrench in our plans here. If they move at less speed while they're careless, we could make them safe. Well, that's why I put full. You said makes units leave people behind. I put stand up as well. I'm trying to figure out what the best force hold fire. It won't switch automatically. This is weird. Hang on a second. Let's hold off on that. Let's add a Zeus real fast. Sorry. Okay, we'll make ourselves Zeus so we can test this. All add-ons. Okay. Well, I can use disable AI, but let's let them get into this. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna keep walking no matter what, even though I made them full speed. That's very interesting. So the problem is not return fire. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If they're in safe or careless, they do that. And it's good that they'll keep going even if they do get attacked, but it's not exactly meeting my intention here. Yeah, so they should keep moving, but they need to be running, right? So. Uh-oh. Ray's calling out Hoodle. That's hilarious. That's the very basis. This is how scripting for me is. Usually, though, I have an idea, and the first and second and third versions of the idea don't exactly work. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to their AI, which 3 to enhance allows you to mess with their AI, right? So disable take cover. Disable the ability to target. I think is what we want to do. But I worry they're still gonna stop. Let's try that. Take off target and cover. We'll put them in aware. Try that. Cool. We're gonna get there before I can get a guy. So here we go. Yeah, see, that's the issue. See, they can't shoot him, right? But they notice him, and they're gonna immediately start doing their combat. If I put them to safe. This guy's awful. This is the enemy. This is the enemy when it's shooting at AI. Can't hit anything. Enemy when shooting at you though, instant headshot from across the map. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. Dude, this is sad. Come on, assistant rifleman. Anyway, yeah. So how could we disable their? Which AI can we disable? Well, we have a lot of options. Obviously, we want them to be able to move. Cover, target, maybe auto target. Shouldn't be FSM, I don't think. No. Oh, switch to combat when in danger. It's literally right there. Let's try that. So they're aware. Am I that stupid? Is it really that? Alias is gonna say, I said that, but it wasn't there when I looked at the chat before I did it, but I'm pretty sure this is the right answer. Dude, can you not see them? Oh. Okay, so they're still taking cover. I have to turn off two tap the first guy exactly. They're still aware. Did we lose our move command? Did you guys see that? They just won that. Yeah. Now that we might have got an answer. There we go. We'll put it way far away, but it looks like the moment the first guy died, it immediately just dropped him, which dropped the move, which is hilarious. Oh, come on, guys. Don't be like that. Go the hard way. Don't go the easy way. Awaiting orders. Okay, it's cool. So, they're gonna get shot at. He's gonna target the... So, okay, cool. So, they're moving. They're moving full speed. That's exactly what we want. So, auto combat apparently is the right one. He's like, hey, that guy over there. Okay. Stopping. So assigning targets clearly is a problem. I don't think we can call. Yeah, not without Zeus. Zeus Enhanced, you can turn off AI things automatically. What if we turn off auto target as well? Once again, just for the guys that are moving. So we go here, we turn off auto target. Try that. Okay. By the way, sorry about the music. Not my favorite thing, but it's all I had in a pinch. Ammo bear is gonna F you up. Okay, cool. So they're gonna get shot at. And keep running. Cool. Like I said, if anyone has any questions in chat about what they want, we're gonna get to Alias. Oh, so yeah, it looks like they lose their... Oh no, he's still going. He's still going. Okay, cool. So it looks like this is what we need. Auto target and auto combat. I guess he's going the long way though. I think it's funny this ammo bear is only focusing on the leader though. Cool, so that seems to work. So now what we need to do is get the amount of we have to start a script and we have to figure out the best way to do we'll go back to our scripts. So we're going to disable auto combat and auto target. Cool. AI. We're just going to keep that as a little note here, so we have it at the top of our SQF. Cool. Okay, we're gonna take a break from that. We're gonna go to another one of the questions. We'll answer Alias's question as best we can, which is okay. Alias, you're a troll for this question. We're gonna try to answer it anyway. Okay, locality is absolutely the hardest part of Arma 3 scripting for me, and I think for most people. So essentially, what locality is, if you don't know, is that Arma 3 works on a host, like a server client architecture, right? But unlike many other games that might be maybe more competitive or whatever, things in Arma 3, most things can happen in a variety of locations when you run a script. So for instance, when I'm the player and I'm moving a character around on the game, that movement is all occurring locally on my computer, my client, and I'm sending information to the server, but the server doesn't own things that are going to happen to my player necessarily. So if I want those things to affect my computer or my player, I have to run those scripts locally on my client. If I run the script on the computer, or sorry, on the server for a dedicated server situation, then those will probably not have it correctly. For instance, let's go to one of my favorites, because it seems like something that should be so easy and it's not with basically. Okay, so we'll go to this one, title text. So if you don't know title text, Arma 3 title text, it looks like it's like the stuff that comes up on your screen, right? Title text. We all know what we're talking about, right? It can come up in the middle of your screen. It can come up on the side of your screen. You put it in a variety of different places. But that's title text is what this does. It just shows text on the screen. So title text, as you can see from this LE here, has a local effect. Meaning if I run title text on the server and it says you're a butthead on the server, no one will see it, right? Only the server would see that, and the server isn't a real person. You have to run title text locally on the client that wants to see it. So if you remember earlier, I had this this message near. So message near, the whole reason why I created message near is because I needed a way to display a message to any player that was within 300 meters of a particular location. And so to do that, I had to be able to run this title, write in this title text in a way that would find that player and then run the execute the title text on their computer. Now, there's a variety of ways that I could have done that. I could have found all of the player objects within that 300 meters and then done a RemoteExec, this thing right here, for title text, just looped through all those players and then RemoteExec the regular title text towards them. I decided to do something different. So this message near script is run on the server itself. And what the server does is it takes a location parameter, so we'll say 300 meters, or sorry, the location, so where the center point is, the distance, 300 meters in this, and then the text of what the message we want to show is. And then all it does is just says, since this is going to be run on every single player, it just looks and sees if that player, the local player object, is within that distance, and if it less than or equal to that distance, and if it is, then it runs title text on their things. This is a local command, so I have to RemoteExec it on those clients, right? Going back to, we'll get another paint so we don't lose this one. So anything when you've got, we'll get, I think it's like this. And then I believe that we want to do a circle for the server. So if the server is this circle, anything that has this GE right here, this global effect, let's see if I can make it big. This GE right here can be run on the server, this thing, GE, and it will affect all of the clients that are, that's a hell of an arrow, all the clients that are connected to the server. Is somebody down here? Hello. What's up? Good night. I love you. I'll see you in the morning. you turn off that TV for me? Hey. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you can handle it. Hey, I'm gonna get back to my thing, okay? I love you. Sorry, I have a visitor. I don't know. Ask Mama. Okay? Sorry, okay, I'm back, guys. So global effects will then, it will occur here on the server. It will also occur on all of the clients that are connected to that server. It's a global effect. Now, some of the things that have these LE local effect will only happen on, wherever you actually run that script at. So most of your scripts, because the server hosts the because the server's doing most of the scenario work, usually we'll say that this is local effect. Usually that script is going to run on the server itself. So unless you use a RemoteExec, that local effect will only happen to the server, which is fine for some things. Some, like, let's say you want to move an AI. So you say set pos. So let's say you set pos, right? It's a global effect. But basically that's going to, if I set pos an AI unit, it's going to happen on the server. It will execute on the server, and the effects of it, everyone will see that AI move because it's going to replicate that also done to these clients. But let's say I run a title text, and I have it only run on this client right here, right? So this guy will see the text. This guy here, though, will not see the text because the title text was run on this client. It doesn't automatically send the information to everyone else because it's not a global effect. It's only a local effect, and it happens on that. So sometimes figuring out where you want the local effect to happen can be a little tough, especially because a lot of your scripts are going to be run on the server itself, and it's hard to figure out which the client is. Now, I'm going to show you something that I did not learn until way later in my, I guess, scripting career. I don't know, I'm not professional, but so RemoteExec obviously is the main way that you can run scripts. So this will run SQF files remotely on the sorry, I'm spacing out. Let's get to it. Sorry, no, it will not. It will run not SQL files. This will run functions on basically whichever computers that you want it to. Okay, so one of the things that's really confusing me, sorry, on the clients and servers that you tell it to. So this is a way for your client or server, wherever you're running the script, to force a script to be run somewhere else. And by script, in this instance, we're mostly talking about functions, unless you do some funkiness with scripts. So by default, it will go locally, as Doskel said, which means that it runs by default this target's default 0. So if you run a RemoteExec on 0, which I did, if you recall, in this script right here, right? 0. Because I'm running it on 0, that runs it on every single client that's attached to that server. I really don't like this song. Which is fine for that, because you're going to check if all the players are near, and if they're not near, it just won't run that title text. But a lot of things you don't want to run on everyone. You want to actually run it on just either a specific person or a specific series of persons. So the number is the machine network ID of that particular client, and I will tell you, figuring out the machine network ID of different players from their character object was really hard for me for a long time. So I found all these sort of weird workarounds for it. For instance, that like run the script everywhere, but only, once it runs on their computer, have them check if it's actually within 300 meters, and then if it's not, just don't show the title text, right? Everyone gets that script, but not everyone has it. But the thing that I realized is that this target can also be an object where the given object is local. So in layman's terms, you can RemoteExec a unit ID. So I can go into this unit here and call it, we'll say, player 1. Okay. I can use player 1 as the object ID, and I can put it in the order, sorry, in the targets, in the targets section. So rather than being 0 or 2 or whatever, I can put that actual object itself in there. And so, for instance, on my script that I did here, rather than remote execing to everyone and then checking within the script, I can instead have the script check for all player objects that are within 300 meters. And then I can put those objects in the remote exec instead of 0 or 1. I could put those player objects in there, and it will automatically find that player, where whoever owns that player object, wherever that is local, the client that player object is local at, whoever's controlling it, and run the script on there. I did not know that for literally years. And I know maybe that sounds stupid to you guys, but this is not something, you won't find it on the on this explanation. It will not tell you on remote exec. If you look at this Bicky, if you look in the discussion, it will not mention that anywhere. It is super, super helpful when you're doing especially large-scale multiplayer scripting to be able to just grab the player's object and execute it on that thing. So that's one of the ones. So getting back to our question, right here, locality, how does it even work? The trick is using the Bicky, trying to find which of the commands that you want to do will have either local or global effects. If it's a global effect, then be careful, because that means it will, of course, happen everywhere. And so, wow, I don't like this song either. Yeah, exactly, Commander. I agree. Commander Farsight. I don't know why I said Commander. Farsight, as I've always known you. So global effects are nice because they well, I guess set pos is a global one, right? So let's go back to that one. Set pos, global effect. It's really nice because it just works everywhere. You don't have to worry about locality. Local effect, though, the moment you see that, you then have to think in your mind, how can I make sure that this script will only execute where I want it to execute, on whose computer? And sometimes that can be kind of tough. Another example of things that people don't think about. When a player gets in the driver's seat of a vehicle, that vehicle is no longer controlled by the server. It is now local to that client until that client gets out of the driver's seat. So if I want to do anything to a vehicle that has a local effect, like set the ammo or set the fuel of it, I have to then execute that with remote exec to pass that vehicle object into the target field. Because if I ran that on the server, it would work 99 times out of 100, because normally vehicles are just sitting there unused or they're being controlled by AI. So you can do everything you want on the server and it's fine. But the moment that a player gets in the driver's seat, that vehicle is now local to that player. And so there's all sorts of weird little edge cases that multiplayer scripting has to figure out. Yeah, the repetition of title text, dude. So Alias, I actually have that. It's messed up still in one of my large scale things, because you can't remote exec title text to everyone, because if you just remote exec title text to everyone, yeah, like you said, it has a weird repetition thing. So when we try to answer the question, how does it even work? It is realize where you want the script to run. Who's controlling the, I don't know how I even got to this. Who's controlling the object that you want to modify? Most times it's the server, but sometimes it's not. We'll check each of the effects that we want to do and make sure that they are local to wherever we want them to be, and make sure that we have found a way to execute them where they're local, and then move on. So, yeah, join in progress is another headache too as well. I agree. That's the last one of remote exec. This thing right here, JIP, join progress. Basically, do you want it to execute on things if somebody has joined in progress? It is very difficult for me to explain how join in progress works. I mostly don't mess with it if I can help it. Yeah, so locality is something that I think is one of those things you just got to kind of work with. You got to kind of explore to figure out. Some things that should seem rather simple are more complicated in multiplayer scripting because of locality, and other things are just nice and easy. Basically anything that's going to be visual that you want to change visually. So like, here's another perfect example that drives me crazy. Hide object. Oh, zoom into alias. Hide object is a global argument local effect. What that means is you pass in an object, and then the object name, and that is a global argument that you'll pass into it, a global parameter. But the effect is local. So if you go and you try to run hide object on the server, AI can no longer see the object, but players can. And so it'll appear as though everything that's like if you do hide object and disable AI on the server, it'll seem like something's just sitting there frozen for the players. And for you, you're like, no, I'm trying to hide it so that they can run past this enemy and then the enemy will pop up behind them or something. But you have to make sure that you remote exec hide object on all the players. Hey, what's up, Rock? How's it going? Man, I did not expect you to show up. What was it that... Oh, I see. Okay. Cool. So, yeah. It's good to see you, Rock. So, what you have to do is you have to either remote exec hide object for everyone, or you just have to use hide object global. I've found that a number of these global ones, though, can have kind of weird... They aren't necessarily... I think on the back end, they just remote exec them. But sometimes it can be a little bit... It could be a little bit janky. But this would be how you do it if you want to hide for everyone. I can't think of a reason why you generally want to hide an object for just one person or another, but it is what it is. This one gets me all the time for horror ops, because there's a lot of times you want to have something hidden until somebody does something. And so make sure you hide object on everyone. Conversely, if you hide object and disable AI only for clients, it can make players really mad, because suddenly a invisible monster is attacking them. And as far as the server is concerned, everyone can see it. The AI is working like that, but on the player side, it is not. And so it can lead to some weird stuff. Or if you do, let's say you don't do hide object, but you disable AI. This is something I ran into for one of our ops we ran. If you disable AI, like for instance, you want to save on resources, so you just disable AI for all these creatures until something happens. If you don't re-enable AI on what is it? It's not disable AI. It's enable AI. Yep. It says global effect, but I tell you what, if you do not enable AI again on or I guess is yep. Oh, I see. Disable AI is a local effect. If you don't turn off disable AI, it will look like somebody is T-posing for dominance against you, because the enemies, as far as the player's game is concerned, the enemies are not actually running their AI, so they won't do stuff like, especially your scripted enemies, like your Web Knights monsters and stuff like that. They'll just be like, they'll be T-posing, and then suddenly they just teleport and rip you to shreds, because the client doesn't know how to handle that AI working when it thinks it's so funny. It really messes you up, dude. I hate it. Oh, Ray's got another question that I'll take a quick screenshot of, so I can add it to the pool of things. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that hopefully that's a little bit of a talk about locality and kind of how it works. This little button right here is your friend. It doesn't always necessarily make sense. Like for instance, this disable AI being a local thing doesn't really make sense, because you presume if you disable AI on something and then re-enable the AI, it will automatically do it for everyone. But I found you have to do it globally still, even though it's just so weird, if that makes sense. So Arma code in a nutshell. Yeah, it definitely Arma 3, by the time we've gotten here, I mean, you got to consider they've had what, 6 games in the series, and every time they have different people making the back end. So it doesn't all make sense. Sometimes you're working with stuff that's been there since 2003, and sometimes you're working with code that came in Arma 3, new stuff in Arma 3, and it just works differently. I guess I don't know. It's just built different. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about locality for now. Let's get back to the script we were building, and then we'll get to the next question in a little bit. So, talking about bounding. So, first thing we want to do, yeah, Infusion doesn't have the same locality problems. I think we're going to find it has a few locality problems, but it's not nearly as bad in Infusion as it was for Arma 3. Okay, so looking back on what we're trying to do, we're going to get rid of the locality thing. Goodbye, never see you again. Okay. Wow, what a mess this is now. We can probably erase this nonsense. How far back do you have to go to get rid of these guys? Okay, cool. So first thing we're going to need to do is set our params. So params, yep, params means something in. It doesn't mean anything in American English, but it definitely means something in British English. Why did you go over there? That's weird. So let's set our params. So we're going to need to have the group itself, right? That's the thing we need to pass into this. And then we'll call, underscore, of course. And we'll do underscore, not objective, what do we want to call it? Target. Excellent. So we'll pass in for our script. For bounding.skip, we're gonna pass in the group itself. So that'll be the group name, and then what the target that we're trying to bound to. Hey, what's up, One Who Walks Through Fire? Welcome. Infusion's really fun to mess around with. It's just a little bit maddening sometimes though, because the Paul is already posting Twitch clips, so I'm scared. Infusion doesn't have the same support on the Bicky, and that drives me crazy. Cool. So there's our params that we're gonna pass into this. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna split the group relatively evenly into two new groups. Actually, no. First thing we do is get group SL and other info. So for group, I know normally GRP would be the one. We'll say group. We're gonna get the. I Bicky nonstop because who can remember? I think it's leader. Who can remember the actual commands and how they work? Returns the leader. So not this. Here we go. So we'll call this squad leader equals leader group. Cool. That's easy, right? Then we'll get what are we gonna call this? Behavior. I think it is. Is it spelled like the British way? No. There we go. Oh, it is spelled the British way. I knew it. Dang it, dude. Post a cool things on. Yeah, A3 GitHub repository. We were just talking about that. Just have ChatGPT write the code. Yeah, I forgot to say that. I was gonna mean to say that. I do actually have a. I did create a custom GPT. Why didn't I forget to say this right in the beginning? This guy right here, the Arma 3 script helper. Highly recommend using it. In fact, we can. Let's ask it how to do what we want to do. Please write a script. Which we'll give it a really generic one and see what it does. I bet it won't work correctly. That makes an AI squad do a bounding Overwatch to a passed in position. Do a passed in AI squad. Do a bounding Overwatch to a passed in position. So you can check this out. Arma 3 script helper. I don't know how to link this. Somebody else figured out how to link it. Oh, copy link. Is this the one? This thing's pretty cool. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna ask it to do that, and we'll see how it does. We'll just leave it off to the side for now. It's gonna do its thing. Okay, so we want to get their current behavior. So we go behavior of the unit. we'll get the behavior of the actual squad lead. Behavior equals behavior. I hate that it was British English. That makes me so mad. That makes me so mad that I was like, I bet it's British English. No, it's not. Oh, it is actually. So it gets the current behavior of them. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we need to do anything else. That's the 2 bits of information we're going to want to restore at the end. Okay. So then we're going to split the group evenly into 2 new groups. So we'll call this num soldiers equals count. I think we just count the group directly, if I remember correctly. We're the worst, yeah. You got a problem with the British? What are you doing awake, by the way, Farsight? Can I count? I can't remember if I can count. Oh, it's count units group. That's right. I remember. Yep. Count units. This is why I look everything up. Oh, you do live in... Okay, so I was trying to remember. Are you British? I don't remember Farsight. I don't remember your background. Long live the king. I can't believe that they have a male queen. How crazy is that? The nerve. Count units group. Okay, cool. I believe that's the one we want. So we'll get the number of soldiers that are in the group. Progressive. And then we're going to private. We probably don't need, this is probably a more efficient way to do this, but we'll private half group equals num soldiers divided by 2. And then I forgot how to round. Is it just round? Close. Yeah, okay, cool. So round. Round value. It's always it's maddening because you never know if it's gonna be a 4 or after. Like it could be value round or it could be round value. You never know. You gotta look it up every time. I'm British, live in America. I'm here on a top secret mission to bring class and decorum. Good luck, dude. Floor is good. Floor is probably more consistent. Behind round. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. You're allowed to backseat code. Ray, if you guys don't know, can I say this about you, Ray? Can I say your background? I always like talking about Ray. Yeah, Ray has a doctorate in programming, so or computer science. What's the doctorate actually in? I don't know if you ever said exactly what the doctorate was. He's a very college educated man. This is why he does all the scripting for us. I always like talking about Ray. It is funny. I talk about my online friends all the time in computer science, in computer vision. Nice. Okay. Ray, let me know if you ever want to move out to Colorado. I know a guy's trying to hire for some AI machine learning stuff in the DoD sector for good money. Just so you know, he's having a hard time finding any Americans that can get a clearance. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, so the half group. So then what we're going to do is we're going to then create a new group. Oh man, I always forget how to create a group. We're going to go to group. We're going to, it's not new group. How do we create a new group? Turns to group. Join. How do you create group? Is it just create group? I can't remember. I love how I can search this, but I bet if I do this, it's actually... Oh, not with the slash in it, though. Yeah, it is, of course. You could search create group as 2 words, and it doesn't know how to combine them into 1 word. Yep. Cool. Okay, so create a new group with the side, and delete when empty. Okay, cool. So we'll go here. We're going to go... We're going to create a group. So this would be group 1, group left, whatever you want to call it, equals, because it does return, right? Yep, excellent. Cool. Delete when empty is true. Inside is side squad leader. Dude, always check the Bicky automatically. Yep. Oh, yep. Cool. We got the squad leader already, so yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Ray. And it's case sensitive for camel case. Yeah, exactly, dude. I should probably start putting these on the back end of these. We only see Fod's upper body and Ray only posts his legs. That's hilarious, dude. The Discord chats make it hard to keep and get a clearance, dude. That's hilarious. Okay, so group 1 will be create that. And then do we want to empty out the current group, or do we just want to move half of the soldiers over to that? I think we just want to move half the soldiers over to, so we'll actually call this, we'll call this temp group. Because we're going to delete this one when we're done. We're just going to move half the soldiers over to it, okay? That makes more sense. It's probably a little bit easier. Cool, so temp group, we create that. It's got the same side, and then we're going to loop through the units in group. If I remember correctly, units group removes or brings an array back. Yeah, of all the units. So then we go. So let's go on a hiatus, dude. Dude, Ray, I would love to have you. I would love to have you sitting next to me, or just run one for me. Yeah, create a new group for half. I think it's just a better idea because if you ever want to run this on a mission that's a lot of groups, you do have a group limit. I think it's 255, and running that group limit is something that you do relatively quickly. Okay, so let's go with private all units equals units group. Okay, and then I always forget how for works in this because I'm not a C++ guy, and for works very differently in this than it does for other things. For, okay, it's always weird. Is it only for? I'm trying to remember if you can use for to the trying to remember exactly how it works. I think you do eyes. Yeah, I think you do it this way. This is the one. From 0 to count -1 exactly. For all of them. Didn't we do this on a previous? I'm having a horrible deja vu right now. Okay, didn't we have this exact conversation in a previous stream where I was scripting? This happened, right? Please tell me this happened. Paulie and Ray, I'm pretty sure you were there. Please tell me I'm right. Okay, for private I equals 0, I equals num soldiers, or I is less than num soldiers. I think that works, right? Oh, sorry, no, half group. So that works. It starts at 0. That should work, I think. Yeah, that should be good. And then, cool. So basically what this is going to do now is this is going to, for the number of, as long as, basically we're going to iterate a number of times that's equal to this half group. And then we're going to take the back end of whatever, actually we'll start at the front. It's just easier. We'll start at the front. So we'll take all units. We'll go temp unit equals all units select. Select allows us to get the unit or a number out of an array, and select I. So this is going to move the squad leader over to the new one, by the way. So we get a temporary unit here. Call it private. We're going to get a temporary unit, and it's going to be in... Oh, it's not going to work because the moment we remove... I didn't think about that. Oh, I know. Here's what we do. No, this will work. I'm sorry. It's going to work because temp unit was already... all units was already defined up here before we got in the for loop. So basically, this is every unit that's in the group. So as if you can imagine an array... I need to just get paint on a button on my stream deck. Boom, open a new paint. So if you can imagine that you've got an array here, right? And the array, of course, has several objects in it. We'll say that's this many. It says 4. Okay, cool. So so these are all currently the units that are within this group. And we're going to take half of them and put them in another group, right? But when we define this all units array, even if we take this guy out and move him to the other unit, he's still in the 0 position of the array. Because we're not redefining this every time. If we were checking the units every time, sorry, Alias. If we were checking this every single iteration of our for loop, then after we remove this guy out of here, then this would shift over, this would shift over, and this would shift over, right? It would only be a 3 thing, and the 0 would have to then come out again, and then this would shift over here, and this would shift over here, and the 0 would have to come out, if that makes sense, right? But because we defined the array already, we're going to take 0 the first time, right? Because I is equal to 0. We're going to take 0, we're going to put them in a new one. The next one, I will be equal to 1. So it's going to then go to one place in the same array. The array's not going to change, even though this guy's not in the unit anymore. And then he's going to go over there, right? And then at this point, the number of half was 2. And we're checking I is less than that number, right? Right here. I don't know if you guys can read this. We're checking I is less than half group. So the moment that I is equal to 2, it's not going to run it again. So we'll get these guys, and they'll have already been pulled out. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, I thought about doing it a different way, but this will work just fine. It just means that we're going to be pulling the squad leader out, which is kind of a pain in the ass. We have to make sure to set the squad leader again later. The other option was to do a count, and then, yeah, reset the position every time. I think this is going to be the smartest way to do it. So select I, and then we're going to set group? Check every single how do we move somebody's group? The join group? Oh, join group silent. Yeah. Sometimes it's set, sometimes it's other stuff. Cool. Join group silent. Am I missing something? Let's check group. Set group ID. Join. Join silent. It's join silent, not join silent. Or not join group. It's join silent. Yep. Join silent. Exactly. Unit array. Oh, there's a unit array? That's super nice, isn't it? I did not know that. I didn't know you could use the unit array for join silent. That actually makes this way easier. Because then we can just put, there's probably a faster way to mess with this array to just slice it right in half, isn't there? Messing with arrays is something I don't really like doing. We're gonna create a an array. No, let's have it do a single one. We'll have it temp unit. We'll have it this way. Join silent temp group. Cool. Excellent. You have to do it this way because if you have just a regular object, it won't work. Isn't join is that an array? It's an array as well. Okay, I didn't realize that. I don't know how I didn't know that. I'm sure I ran into it before. Unit select 1/2 group. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense, Doskull. Yeah, join user radio mission. I am tracking that. I'm just trying to remember if it was a single unit. I think that's a better way to do it, but I'm not working for efficiency right now. I'm just working to brute force it. What I find, and maybe I'm wrong on this, I find that going for the sexy efficient solution up front usually means a lot more troubleshooting in the back end. Instead, if I do just a real hacky method that's very inefficient, it's usually a lot easier to read. And so then I can, as I'm going through it, I can troubleshoot it. And once I get it working, then I can find ways to make it more efficient. I don't know if that's how everyone does it, but that's how I like to do it, and it helps me a lot. Don't even need the 4. Oh yeah, if you use the unit select, yeah, no, I agree. This loop method is not very efficient. To be honest, I'm not great with this. Okay, so if we look at it, where we're at now, at this point, we should have two separate groups, right? So why don't we save this, and we will have to remember this. So I'm gonna pull us into another spot. Actually, no, we're gonna go here. So let's go in here. Let's go. We should be able to test this right now. We'll go with not Sentry because that's a bad one. Let's go Fire Team. Okay. We'll call this Group 1. Okay. Yeah, if the mission's never going to be public or the shittiest code known to man, exactly, dude. No, I totally agree. Okay, so here we're going to go to our debug console. So if we want to exec VM, why didn't it allow me to? And we'll put the arguments here, and it's going to be bounding.sqf. So first argument was the group 1. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back real fast. And because we don't need the target yet, we're just going to check if this works. Oops. We're going to make a params that's just a test params. It doesn't have target. So it just has group. This is basically, all this script does is divide our group in half. So if we execute this, it should make this one group into 2 groups. I bet it doesn't work the first time. Did it just copy our group? Oh no, it's another group. Hang on. So it did not. Oh, here we go. It did. Look at that. Look at that. What if we add? Is this dynamic? What if we add a bunch of dudes to this? To that group? Is it still working? Nope, they have to be added to that one. So let's add them all to this guy. That didn't work dynamically. That's interesting. That's interesting that I don't know. That group name probably got messed up. Cool. So, but it went off the other team leader. You're right. I forgot that these other guys were running. I was like, what did it double or I'm an idiot. So, and it should be able to go all the way up to big squads, right? No. Okay, hear me out. Does anyone use the double click to add something there? Does anyone actually use this? Tell me right now if you actually use this. Because I don't think anyone in the world uses that. Not one person. Okay, so we're gonna do it again. Not on purpose, that's the right answer. Exactly. It's there to trip me up when I'm trying to double click on something else. Okay, so I run this, and now I have 2. And look, ta-da! It's always weird. So this is one of those things. The way that Arma wants to assign units in their positions is always baffling to me. So we're in again. It should have now 3 of them. Oh, do I have an ammo bearer somewhere? That's hilarious. You're in jail? Why are you in jail? Okay, and then last one divides this again. Cool. So now I have 4. Why does that make sense? How if I grabbed you here, are you over there? Dude, Arma's on one tonight. Okay. Oh, that's your experience. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we have it officially able to get a whatever. So to divide our squad. Cool. So that was pretty quick. That's the easy part. Okay, so next we get to mess with waypoints. Don't close this. Excellent. So going back to here, let's add this back in. So now we're going to use target. So we're going to set first or set original squad to Overwatch. So this is where we need to disable, or this is where we need to have them disable their ability to path. So we're going to. Oh man, how is it? What's the? Let's try to do this efficiently. What's the command that allows you to apply code to every object in an array? Is it? It's just apply, right? Is that what it is? Apply to each element. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this, we should be able to do this rather efficiently. So we say, it's always weird. It's units group apply, and that should just be code, right? Arbitrary code. And I think X is the unit itself. Yeah, okay. So this is how I remember, yeah. For each is great. No, for each is awesome. But apply, so if you look at apply, it's really kind of, it can do weird stuff. But it is kind of nice for array management, but you should be able to do it for anything that's in an array. Yeah, apply is slightly faster than for each. For each is great. Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure that you can do any code. Oh no, am I wrong though? No, it's each element. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's try. So let's do this one. Or damage. So we'll go X, magic X, damage, or set, is it set damage? Damage 1, right? Is that what it is? Let's try this. So if we do this correctly, it should kill everyone in that one. Oh, set texture to purple is smart, but it's too late. Is it set damage? I think it's damage. No, damage gives you the damage, doesn't it? We'll try it. Missing, excuse me. Camel case, ruining my life. So I always love set damage with 2 M's. And they died. And oh yeah, doesn't exist anymore. Restart. So 4 of them should die right here. Cool. Yep. So apply does apply to everyone. So there you go. Hey, who learned something today? Raise your hand. We now have a decimate script. Exactly. I have you. Yeah, damage was the one from OFBR. Raise your hand if you didn't know that apply worked that way. I think we can all leave here now saying we learned something. Hand is raised. You have emojis. You just gotta open up the like Windows keyboard. You have to like click here and go to, I can't remember how to do it. This is how you can open up the Windows keyboard. You ought to know. Okay, so now we're applying, we're not gonna apply that though. We're going to apply the following code. We're not gonna set damage because that's bad. X, disable AI, and we gotta go back to our disable AI. I think it's path, right? Yeah, path. Here we go. Path. Set disable AI, or disable AI path is like one of my favorite things in all of Arma. I wish it was slightly easier to apply. So they shouldn't be able to path now. They should just stand there. That's really funny. Windows Plus. There you go. I like how Hoodle's like, yeah, to do it, you just gotta press Windows Plus plus period. And Ray's like, I don't know how to open it, but I don't know how to open the Windows keyboard, but somehow in the middle of a firefight in an op, Windows is able to find a way to open it. Is it Windows period? Are you sure? Oh, it's not working. Here, at least let's try here. Hey, it does work. Windows period does let you do emojis. And to that, I give you, this one's for Hoodle. Our hearts together. Good job, Hoodle. Disabling group AI, stop AI spamming movement commands. Dude. Disabling group. Oh. Now you put emojis in your comments. Dude, now I'm Hoodle Riz strikes again. Exactly. Okay, so they shouldn't be able to path anymore. So let's do a test here. We're gonna go here. Send them there. And then half them should stop doing path. I forgot to save. Oops. I can tell I forgot to save. If it's right up here, you forgot to save. Oops. Sorry, guys. Well, they did stop moving. That is true. That is true. They are no longer pathing. I feel like I heard somebody walking around. That is so freaking hilarious. I cannot believe that just happened. Somebody clip that, please. Okay, they should stop pathing. They shouldn't die. Yep, okay, cool. Oh, but I didn't think about that. Well, it's not gonna matter, right? Because we're not saving their previous waypoints at this point. That's a thing you can add on later. Right now, we're just trying to find a way to bound. I don't want to put the saving previous waypoints in the bounding script. I would like to put that in a separate script for saving waypoints, and then you can use something to execute a script to bound to whatever the next waypoint is, and then keep moving on. But this worked just fine, because the reason why they all stopped is because the squad leader has the move command, and he's no longer there. But these guys can move just fine. Cool. So we're doing well, guys. We're halfway there. Oh, we're living on a prayer. But the problem is we probably want them to, because of the way the AI works, it's going to be really weird, because it's going to be like, well, we'll see. It's going to be like these guys here. Oh, why did you select everyone? These guys here are going to be stopped, and then these guys up here are going to keep running. You know, like, it's going to be kind of weird. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll make it work, and then we'll make it nicer, like we talked about. Okay, cool. So for that group, we applied disable AI pathing. I don't think we need to do anything else for them. They're just going to stop. And then for set new squad to what do we do? To bound. I'll save to bound. So units temp group apply. We could for each, but you know, we're doing this. We're gonna disable AI, and this one is auto combat. Cool, excellent. You guys have helped me out so much. Thanks for being here. We're gonna answer a question here in a minute when we get this to work. Disable AI auto combat, and oh, we got set there. Is it set behavior or set group? I forget. We were just on behavior. Was it here? I could just type it in again, but then I have to type the British one. I don't want to do that. Yeah, we do. Behavior. That's the French one. I literally don't know how to spell it. Is it that way? There we go. Okay. I was doing a gag for a second, but I realized I literally don't know how to spell it. Okay. I want to set them to aware. We'll go set. This is a weird syntax. Is it? Am I wrong? It says behavior. Oh, behavior is get the set behavior. I was like, am I wrong? Uses faudier, exactly, faudier. Group or yeah, cool. So we can do the group itself. But we're gonna do the unit because it's easier to run it this way. Now we'll do the group. Temp group. Set behavior. Aware. Cool. Okay. So they should now. We'll do this first actually because it looks nicer. That's just a pet peeve. Okay. So now what we need to do is we have to set up a loop that basically causes one group, currently the original group, to be on Overwatch, and the other group to be on bound. And then after we'll just start with a certain amount of time. After we'll say 10 seconds. It needs to then tell group 1 to do one thing, and group 1 to then turn to bound, and group 2 to turn to set, if that makes sense. So I think we need to do that as a loop, as a while loop. Which I hate. for a variety of reasons. But while, we'll just say true for now. Do, I believe this, I always forget how while loops work. Oh, sorry, that's my my kiddo. My kiddo has taken over the music. So now you get nothing. Hang on, let's just open up, we're gonna get some ads real fast. We're gonna open up stream, what's it? Why can't I remember what it's called? Stream Beats. Cool. Open Stream Beats on here. And this is interesting. Playlists. And we'll do this. Sure. Cool. There we go. Excellent. Sorry about that. The kids listen to nighttime music on the Spotify. That's a little bit loud. Excuse me. That's 5%. It's a really loud song. Okay, cool. Oh. I'm not sure what just happened. It logged me out of Restream? That's fun. What the heck is going on? Sorry. Can't see my chat right now. Let's go to Twitch real fast. Sorry, guys. Because my dock is broken now? I'm having a hard time. I'm having a heck of a time right now. Career dashboard. Stream manager. Cool. Now I can see chat again. I don't know why that was happening. Why did it log me out of Restream? That's really weird. I'm literally logged in right now and it's telling me wrong. Okay, now it's going to log in again. Don't worry about that. Broken? Who could have expected this? Okay, cool. So, anyway, where were we at? What were we doing? We're looking at while. I always forget exactly the syntax for while. Yeah, so while some sort of statement, do some stuff. Okay, cool. Excellent. So we're going to, until group gets to, until group gets to target, do bounding, I don't know. I try to always do, I know that there's like a, not bounding box. When I took my computer science classes, they always said, don't add unnecessary comments. The code should be written in a way that you can understand it yourself. Which, sure. Okay, I get you. But I think we all understand that when you try to read somebody else's code and you're not that person, it can be really tough to figure out what exactly they were doing. So I try to do as much, I try to do over commenting if I can. It's not great practice, but it helps the next person. Because my hope is that as I make these things, that people will tear open my PBOs and look at them and be like, oh, that's how he did it. Because that's how I learned. Like Ray was talking about, liberation is a great way to learn how locality works, because there's a bunch of stuff that has to run on clients or has to run on the server, and if you edit liberation to add new cool stuff, then you'll be able to figure out pretty quickly how locality works. So I think it's good to have comments, because some of liberation is a perfect example of the new stuff. The killer potato stuff is great on comments. The previous stuff, the GRUEH or GRUEH, is not good on comments. There's almost no comments on it. 12 years ago? Dude, that was 12 years ago, Ray. You get taught the opposite? Dude, I comment almost every line. That was just, I mean, that was maybe the University of Maryland thing. I don't know. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then we want to set the current bounding group. So we're going to go bound group equals temp group. And then we also want to set the current Overwatch group. Overwatch. Sorry that my typing's so slow. Equals group. This is just so that we have a way of swapping them, basically. So here's what we're gonna do. At the very beginning of this, or sorry, we're gonna add something. We're gonna add sleep 10 at the end, because anytime I build a wild group, I always want to put a sleep in there before I start testing it, because, you know, just is what it is. Okay, so while true, do this. We're going to set. We're gonna basically do this thing again. This apply. We're gonna set squad to Overwatch. Instead of group, we're gonna put Overwatch group. Apply, disable that path. Okay, yep. Does that make sense, guys? And then we're gonna set the bound group. This should be relatively simple if I've done this correctly. And this will be bound group. In fact, I didn't even need all this. Now that I think about it, I didn't have to do it up here, but whatever. Lodge stop missions, FOD squad, or write stuff scripts and triggers. Dude, yeah, exactly. KP Liberation is one of the most, yeah, immersive. I am really impressed by KP Liberation. If it's not in a file, it's not real. Dude, I get so stressed out adding scripts to triggers. I almost always prefer to just execute a function that I've created in a script somewhere else. Cool. Just getting our tabs. It doesn't really matter, but okay. So what we're gonna do here is, after I've set one to Overwatch and one to bound. Oh, I didn't think about this. I do have to give them the move markers. Both of them have to have a move marker to that spot. Does that make sense? So first we're going, before we do that, we're going to then do a swap. So we're going to say if Overwatch group equal to group, do this, else this. That just helps us to check. And I think that if I remember correctly, if in this one is like this. So while requires you to do while this, do that, right? But if we go to if, it's not going to be that. Sorry to hit the mic. It's not going to be that way. If condition then. Okay, so this one's then. Dude, it's always so different. Get positive current waypoint that uses a destination for the following ones. Maybe I thought about that. You should also be able to do the move command. More up to function execution. So I will say, here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna reveal something about myself. If I go to MP missions, okay, DHO. Okay, is a perfect example. So we'll go to DHO, my dynamic core operation. So I'm a bad person. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm a bad person right here. You see all these scripts? See all these scripts? Yeah, I remote exec and then exec VM scripts. And the reason why I don't create functions with any of these scripts. A smarter man would take like this get units thing, and instead of executing this script every time I need to use it, this actual script file with exec VM, I would create it into an a UF FNC get units, right? I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to make the .h files to define my functions. Ray, can you save me? Do you know how to do it to where I can then just FNC? The only thing that I know how to do, and it's really sad, the only way that I know how to actually create FNC files is in the init, in the server init, is to actually compile those files into an FNC that way. That's the only way in a init. So every time you launch, it has to compile them all. Yeah. CFG functions, dude. Okay. So look, we all know. I'm not saying that it's not available to me. If I go to CFG functions, and it shows me how to do it. I'm not saying that it's not available to me. I just don't know. I don't know how to properly do it. Because, so like if I go, so this is dynamic horror ops. This isn't too many, right? Like this is, can I get back to my other view? Not too bad. Why can I not, there we go. Is there a way to do, whatever. Like you can see, like it's not that many, right? But if I go to MP missions, where's my, not dynamic. Let's go to overrun. Do I have my original Malden overrun? There's a lot more here. And it's a real pain. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's a real pain in the ass to remote exec and then BIS FNC exec VM a script. Because then you get some real tortured stuff. Like... then you get some real... this one's not too bad. You get some real tortured remote execs sometimes. Where's the one where I have to add... To do this for... Here's a good example of one. Look at this remote exec I have to run. I'm using a hint near, so I have to pass into the hint near this information, which I have to put in format because it's so tortured. It's so tortured. Am I crazy? Just need to do what ones? Yeah, preprocessed file line numbers. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. Like this one's not too bad, but here's probably the worst. This one's a affront to God. Okay, I want to show you this one. So this is how long this is. Okay. Okay, let me. I'm outing myself a little bit for your benefit. Okay. So, at its core, it's a remote exec, right? Oh, sorry, I'm not at the right spot. Hang on. At its core, it's a remote exec, right? So here's the initial command is remote exec, right? Okay, and I'm remote execing an add action. Okay. Now, in the add action, I've got to pass in all of this stuff here. All of this stuff is parameters for the actual add action itself, okay? And then this is the unit. So I'm adding the action to the decon truck unit. And then within the parameters of that, I have to define all the stuff for add action. If you've never looked at add action, it is my second least favorite one. Add action is such a pain in the ass, dude. I hate it. So add action has all of these parameters that you have to pass, okay? But when we get to the one where it's the parameter that is script right here, okay? I'm sorry, but in this I have to remote exec the actual... So instead of just running the script itself, instead of just running a init cleanse, I have to remote exec because when you use an add action, if you use just the... Sorry that I'm laughing, dude. Hours of my life I spent for this. If I just put this in the script here in this particular spot right here, it will run it locally on the player and it won't be able to operate correctly. I need it to run on the server. So within the add action, I have to then run this code, and within the code is another remote exec, and that remote exec is also going to call BIS FNC exec VM for this SQF file, but only on the server.
Reinforcements dropping in.
Thank you, LoveClick. That timing couldn't have been better. So within this one line, I'm remote execing an add action, and that that add action within it has to then remote exec an FNC exec VM that will exec VM this script on the server only. Sergio, I'm sorry, Sergio, I know. This is why... Yep. It just works as elegant design. This is not the only time I do something like this. How many characters is this? One line. Does it tell me? It's right here, right? Selected is 177 characters for one line. And then I have to add an event handler that's also kind of a little jank because of this remote exec that has to happen within that. It's bad. Is there just one way to do things? Duskull's looking at this. He's like, I would never do that. It's bad. It's really bad. Okay. So I say all this. Okay. To reel it back, why I brought up my absolute failing as a professional coder. If I had this init cleanse as not an SQF but instead as a function that I'd already defined in a CFG functions, then this remote exec would be unnecessary. I would just exec that particular function here. And even better yet, I could have a function that adds this add action automatically. So I would just remote exec that function. I wouldn't even have to remote exec. Like, all I'm saying is I could have functions that I had created that would do all of this rather than it being some tortured, horrible line that I have to do. Is that the worst one? I think that's the worst one. It's not good, dude. It's pretty bad. Oh, this one's pretty bad too. I had the decon for, where's the one for I don't need to keep pointing this out. It's really bad. Oh, here it is. Yep. This is pretty much as bad too. I have to remote exec and exec VM to add the little bird decon to that. So anyway, that's my shame. I've revealed my shame. Someday somebody's gonna pull apart my files. They're gonna be like, oh, Overwatch is really interesting, and they're gonna pull apart my files and be like, what was he doing? So anyway, why did I say that right now? I don't know. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Anyway, back to something totally different. Thanks for torturing yourselves with that. It's pretty bad, dude. Okay, so if going back to our script, if the Overwatch group is the original group, then we're going to go Overwatch group equals temp, and bound group equals group, and then else the opposite, basically. And this will be a way to flip-flop between the two. This should automatically flip-flop between the two if I do this correctly. Oh yeah, group is definitely what I'm looking to do there. And temp group. Cool, excellent. You gotta go sleep now. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate you hopping out, dude. It's really fun. I've got a real brain trust here in this live stream. I'm not gonna lie. I feel very fortunate that you guys decided to tune into this because there's a lot of really smart people here. So thanks so much for that. But we're gonna get this. I think we're pretty close to getting this script done, if I'm honest. I'm looking at my live page on YouTube because I realized I can't see all the people who are. If you're here on YouTube, hey, how's it going? Thanks. I think Sergio is the only one who's chatting on YouTube, but I appreciate you. If you're having a good time, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to YouTube. Thank you. Anyway, back to what we were doing. And don't forget, we're going to check and see if ChatGPT was able to successfully do this without us. Okay, so we are supposed to be able to pass in a target, right? That should be a position that we want to pass in. So before we have them do this, we have to give them both of these groups a that move. Give groups move order to target. And creating waypoints is not a strong point of mine, so I think it's the create waypoint. I appreciate you, Ray. No, is it set waypoint? Oh my gosh. Waypoint. Waypoint functions. Not the B and C ones. Is it waypoint add? Oh, that's add. It's add waypoint. Add waypoint, yeah. Add waypoint. That's what it is. Is it set waypoint? Is it create waypoint? Or is it add? Is it join waypoint? Who even knows? Okay, so group name, add waypoint, setter radius, and I think most of this is not required. So just for testing, actually no, not for testing. We're gonna do this. We do this twice. So we don't need to return the waypoint. We're gonna go group, add waypoint, target. Okay, and then we're gonna do double that and go temp, group, waypoint, target. Okay, cool. So now we should be able to pass this in. This should work. This should work. Yeah, no, add makes sense. I just was being salty. This should work. Is what it comes down to. So the way it works is we get the group. Well, this is gonna go forever, right? If I'm honest, this is gonna go forever. But let's just try it. Let's just try where we're at now. So what we have now is it should split the group into 2 groups. Have one group immediately go into Overwatch, the other one start bounding forward. 10 seconds later, they should stop, go into Overwatch, the other one should start bounding for 10 seconds. So it's gonna be that inchworm we talked about, right? It's gonna be that inchworm. And then it's gonna go forever because we don't have a good distance to temp. But let's just try this for now. And we're gonna go in here. Sun's coming out. Hey, you're gonna path your way to bed, Paulie? Thanks for putting the Discord in there. If you're in chat and you wanna hang out and talk about fun stuff like this, join our Discord, please. Thank you so much, Paulie. Have a great one. Good job pathing your way to bed. You don't have a... Okay, so now they have no move waypoint. Let's go... Players can be... Okay, cool. Let's go like this. Oh, no. Let's restart. Why did that happen? Who even knows? And we're going to teleport. We're going to teleport players. We're going to teleport myself over there so we can use myself as a get pos. Okay, cool. So now we got group 1 exec VM bounding. And for the position, the target, we're going to get pos player. Oh, it doesn't like this. Unit? Oh, units. Okay, sorry. I messed something up. Units. Cool. Just a little minor thing. Missed an S on these 2 units. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. Clear your error. Clear your error, please. Or are we might have to restart. We'll try it right now. Definitely split them into 2, but it didn't give them a waypoint. I think because the while loop is still running. So let's go back to the editor and give them a better target. Let's go here. Beggar. Target. Cool. Delete that waypoint. Excellent. Cool. So now we should see them. If we did everything right, we should see them get pos target. Nope, we messed something up. We're missing an end. Ah, we're missing a then. Right here. Remember when I said that I always forget how ifs work? Well, right here we forgot an if then. Cool. And unfortunately we gotta restart because the has a click dismiss error option. Yeah. Cool. Let's go here. Okay, so now they both have the target. They're choosing a very interesting path. They should stop after 10 seconds. Let's see, is it working? They should stop. They stopped. Then these guys should go. We're dumb. Did you know we're dumb? You want to know why we're dumb? Because we have to re-enable the AI. Remember when I said we have to re-enable the AI on the other guys? Now everyone has all their AI disabled. We're dumb. Yeah, we have to enable AI. Doskel got it. Hey, Darfin, how's it going? That's really fun. Okay. Doskel's batting 1,000 tonight. I totally forgot to re-enable. So basically, you have to re-enable all the stuff. So set squad to Overwatch. So we want to apply this. We want to disable path, X, enable AI auto combat. And then for this one, I think what we gotta do is X enable AI path. I think this is all we have to do. We keep setting them to aware, and that's just because we need them to not be in combat mode. I think this should just work this way. That's all we need to do. Okay, we were this close to greatness, guys. I was so ready. I'm like, yeah, it's working. Wait, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you moving? It's because I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. Let's try this. Okay. They got a move command. They're going to go that way for some reason, because that's the fastest way to get to him. Yep. Definitely not a straight line. Okay, stop. Any second now. Stop. Stop any second now. Okay, so what did we miss? Did I mix up which ones should be enabled? What did we miss, guys? So they just kept running. So KB, don't if you don't know the issues exactly. So what do we miss? The bound group should have enable AI path and disable AI auto combat. Let me make sure enable AI doesn't have some weird. Oh, these strings are different, aren't they? Are they different? No? For temp group. Oh, that's why. I had this as temp group. It should be bound group. I thought I'd already done that. I don't know how I missed that. Okay, cool. So the problem was that I was setting temp group every time instead of swapping them back and forth. So this should work now. I hope this works. At some point, I have to update Nightbot to one of my newer videos that's newer than 2 years ago. Okay, let's watch now. Okay, so they should start moving. I need to move them into an open field so they stop doing this dumb stuff or whatever. So they go. They go. They go. Stop any second. They stop. These guys are moving. They're doing it. They're doing it, guys. Can you believe it? They're doing it. They should stop around the same area. The other guys are moving. They're doing it. This is how it feels to code. Look, sex is good, okay? But Arma 3 scripts, when they're working... Their pathfinding could use some help, but it is what it is. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so... Here is... We're going to restart. Here is the $1,000 question. We're going to do that. We're going to move this guy a little bit farther. And we're going to move them out into this field so they stop doing that weird thing. Remove him way down there, okay? So we're going to start our script, okay? Script started, right? So they're good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take an enemy squad, and enemy squad is going to be standing here. If I did everything correctly, they should keep moving even though they're being shot at. Okay, waiting. Neither of them can apparently see each other right now. Dude, this feels so cool. I feel like a freaking... Yeah, so we're going to fix that in a second, Wicked. Okay, so these guys, Overwatch. Okay, so these guys, Overwatch, are shooting back. These guys are not, though. Why? Ah, I know why. Because I didn't disable their targeting. So they're still targeting. Remember what we did is we disabled their auto-targeting while they were moving? Ah, okay. So these guys are trying to move. They're trying to become the guy. They're trying to become him. So we have to turn off target. That's what we're missing. Pathing near cover, exactly. Which is fine. So you can see them still trying to move a little bit as they turn off auto-target. But it's not working exactly. So that's what we need to do next. So we need to make it to where they can no longer target. So here, when we set this disable enable auto combat, we also have to X enable AI target. And then we're going to disable AI. So this should prevent them from being able to shoot at them at all, if I remember correctly. And then to answer your question, Wicked, by the way, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you being here. So Wicked, right now we've got just true, just for testing purposes. What we're actually gonna do is while we'll say bound group, what's it, distance, if I could spell it. How exactly does distance work again? We'll fix this while we're at it. Distance, I can't spell. It's from 1 to 2. That's right. So while bound group distance target greater than, we'll say greater than 10. So basically, once the bound group gets there, we should stop. And hopefully that doesn't break everything we just did. Okay, cool. So we're going to try this again. What am I doing? Going here. We're going to move these guys again. Move this guy a little farther away. Oh, it doesn't like that now. Type group expected array object location. Okay. We'll do leader. That's fine. Restart. Cool. That was why I didn't add it, because I knew this was gonna be a little fiddly bits. If this errors again, we're just gonna go true. Nope, that seems to work. Okay. Cool. So now when I do this and I go here, and I get infantry, and I'll get a little patrol team here, and I go like this. Now they should stop shooting at them when they're in the bounding. Come on, come on, come on. Can you guys see them, please? There we go. So, Overwatch guys, can you shoot back? Overwatch guys are shooting back. Okay, cool. These guys are the Overwatch now? No, these guys are still shooting. They're still holding their targets. No, they're moving. They're a little bit. They're not really quite moving. So how do we erase their targets? Another option is set them to hold fire. Because of the range rather than commands. What do you mean range? I don't like this version of this. Sorry. I'm gonna set that. Change our music. Okay, and sorry, changing our music. Got some ads. I'm sorry. Don't know why we're getting ads now. Cool, excellent. They're about 10 meters apart when they start shooting again. So let's see here. So that guy's dying, obviously. I forgot I have Ace on, so he's in the process of dying. So how do we get a unit to break target? I'm gonna Google Arma remove target. Delete target? Is it really that simple? This command's not open. Well, that would have been nice. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Remove Arma 3, remove target script. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's a... I don't know what the best way to do this is. Disable. Oh, enable attack looks interesting. Set if leader can issue attack commands to soldiers in his group. That's actually really useful. But once they've already gotten the attack command, then... Arma 3, stop AI shooting. You can set him careless. That's not really fixing what we need. Wait, force target? What's force target? Any ideas, guys? Resets the info a group has about a target, forcing nodes about value to 0. Oh, okay. Or forget target. Oh, forget target's perfect. Although, I can remove their targets, but that's not great. I can remove their target knowledge. I'm not sure that that's what I want to have happen. That doesn't seem very good. We can turn off weapon aim. Okay, let's see. Notes from before. The target section of the AI key is likely different than you think. Normally, when an AI group is standing still and sees an enemy, the group will break formation and start moving towards the enemy. If you disable the target AI, then the AI will stay where they're at. Even if you disable the move, you can still move out to attack the enemy. Disabling these, placing units in defensive positions. That way you can have them stay behind your cover and not run in the open. This command also is a bug. No, that's what I'm looking for. Set behavior forced. That's an interesting idea. Let's check it out. Set behavior. The set behavior and set behavior strong. So I could set them to. What's set behavior strong do? Let's pull this up. Set every unit in the group tries to force the behavior. Okay, so set behavior strong. So we could set them to careless for a second, and then make them so they lose that, or set combat behavior. What's the difference between this and what's the difference in regular set behavior? Oh, doesn't set AI group behavior. That's weird. Maybe I need to set combat behavior. I can't tell what the difference is. We'll try set combat behavior in our script though. I think if we set them to careless and then set them to aware, I think that would actually help us. So we set them to careless for a second. Hopefully that will break their train of thought on what they're doing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? I don't know. Don't mind the amount of tabs I have open, please. Oh, set behavior leaves room for the return. Interesting. This is why I do this, so you guys can teach me. Well, let's try this.
You are here, and when you earn
dude, ads killing me.
Points on travel with the Amex Platinum card, you can experience way more of
ads are killing me. I had
travel.
Spotify playing, but no longer. I hate that you can't make Arma stay open. Okay, we're gonna run our script. So I feel pretty good about this so far, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And then we'll go CSAT. Let's go infantry, sentry. No. I didn't say move. I said attack. Cool. Okay. So it's working so far. These guys are running and they stop. No, still moving. What is this? So now they can't move. These guys get up. They're still engaging. This guy was able to move. No, they're still engaging. I could see them trying. The problem with careless. The problem with setting them to careless, because I wanted to set them careless. The problem is they don't run when you're in careless. I think I have to set hold fire. How do I give them hold fire command? I can't remember what that one is. Hold fire script Arma 3. Set combat mode. Oh, I see you saying blue. Blue, you're right. That makes a lot of sense. So set combat mode. You guys are smarter than me. That's exactly what we want. So we don't need this line anymore. We can delete that. And we're gonna set combat mode blue. And bound group. And what that means is we have to make sure to set them back to yellow or red. We'll have to set him back to red after. And we have to do this up here as well when we do here. This is an unnecessary section, but we're going to set them here. The Overwatch group. Cool. And we have to make sure we do these little brackets. Okay, not blue, we want red. Cool. That was a great looking out there, guys. I think that's exactly. Disable AI fire weapon. Will prevent them from firing, but it won't prevent them from looking at the enemy. I think if we set them to blue, I think they'll stop. If not, we'll try it this way. Yeah, I think they still look at them. They just can't pull the trigger, basically. Their finger's broken. But this should work. He says. As if he hasn't been doing this for a while now. Checking, make sure I didn't get any messages from my wife. Cool, no messages yet. Okay. I could probably just set this up the other way. I didn't like what I did. Units, temp, group, apply. Oh, I think I missed. I thought I added you. Okay. Cool. We're gonna back out and do this again. Cool. Let's try this. Let me know if the music's too loud, by the way, guys. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Okay, run our script. It worked. Okay. Now, as we do, we add some infantry. We'll go, 13. No, that's the wrong... You're not going to be scared of them at all. Okay. Let's see how they react now. Bounding squad's not doing a good job at defending their boys. Now here's the... Or not bounding squad. Here's the Overwatch squad and bounding squads. Okay. Something's wrong. Nobody's shooting back now. So, we're not returning them somehow to return fire. What's their current state? Oh, you can't see because you don't have. I don't have a. Oh, now we're getting some shots back. Took a long time. Okay, okay. So these guys are. Okay, it's working. I don't know why they were so slow to return fire, but it's working now. These guys are not shooting. See, they're bounding. Now they're stopped. Look, I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. These guys are now up. They're no longer shooting. Don't shoot anymore. Come on. What is he doing? He's trying to get to cover. Okay. Now these guys are bounding. See? Oh my gosh. Did we do it, guys? Do we actually do it? A lot of friendly fire from all the moving around, I think. This guy's trying to get to cover, unfortunately. Well, the concept is there. These ads are absolutely killing me. It does make them far less effective, but dude, we're doing it! I feel really cool. These guys are returning fire now? Somehow these guys are not dead yet? Oh, they are. They're hurting. I forgot their CSAT, so they're gonna get... But we're doing it, guys. You gave the CSAT attack order to the units, didn't you? Yeah. That makes sense, Alias. But even so, look, they're doing it. They're bounding. These guys are not shooting while those guys shoot, and then these guys will set. They start shooting. The fact that this guy is moving now so weird laterally, I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. We can't force him to move directly to the objective, I don't think. Okay, he's dead, so now this guy's taking a very interesting... Okay, so all the enemies are dead now. But that worked! As far as I can tell, that worked. What do you guys think? Did we do it? Have we conquered Arma? Now turn it to an FSM. Dude, I don't know how to make an FSM. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to make anything. I don't know how to actually bring anything into like a legit fashion. I just run everything in scripts. Okay, so let's go here. Let's try it in more of like an open field, okay? And of course we have to still fix the script. We still have to fix the script afterwards. We have to fix what happened afterwards, so. Yeah, I think it's a solid beta. But we still have to fix them afterwards, put them back in their same group. But it seems like it's working. Let's try this one more time. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to run a I want to make a World War I era op that's like campaign. I think it'd be really cool to have stuff like this because there's a lot of like charging across open ground, and I wanted to create a thing that can force groups to sprint for a while and then lay down. And so this is kind of a, you know, a version of that, you know. Yeah, bound group, join silent, Overwatch group, and then set leader. Exactly. Cool. So right now the problem is they're kind of, if the unit's far enough away, if the points far enough away, they kind of bound through each other. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. Just watch them for a minute. They don't see each other yet. Task rush or task, yeah, exactly. Because it's really hard to force AI to just sprint, you know? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so yep, see these guys are Overwatch group, bounding groups moving forward. He's gonna get shot by his own guy for sure, though. Okay, now we have this squad's now. Look at this, they're bounding. They're actually doing some cool maneuver too. They're trying to flank them. You see that? Oh, is everyone shooting once? No. Okay, so 10 seconds is kind of a short time. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, what's happening now? Hang on, we're having issues. So these guys are now moving. They're really confused about how to move because they're kind of get out of their squad a little bit. It's interesting that they think that they need to go basically hard left. They're not going towards the objective at all now. Yeah, 10-second bound. That makes sense. Might want to set like a 20 exactly so they can get all the way up. It's weird that they're not willing to go forward though. I don't know what in their AI is making them think they need to go sideways. But we can speed this up a little bit. And you can see them. The basics are there, but they're doing some crazy stuff with their movement now. Random time? That's actually a really good idea. Random time between 10 and 20. Okay, so let's see what happens. I think we might need to set them careless just to reset their desire to... Because I think right now they think that they have to constantly go via cover because it's supposed to be going over there. I mean, that's... This is not getting them in the direction they're supposed to be going. But this is just normal AI stuff. I like your idea for a random amount, though. Like a random amount between... I'm going to say, like... Because 10 seconds really isn't that long. Maybe between, like, 12 and 25, I think. Yeah, going through concealment, I think you're right. So let's go back. What is this stupid ad? Let's go back here. Okay, and let's go with sleep. Oh, I always forget how random works. Random is so weird in this. Random. And then you have to floor, that's right. So we go random, and we'll go 13. We'll go plus 12, and we'll floor this. So it could be 0, it could be 25, 24, I guess. We'll floor that. Okay. So that sleep is now a random number. I think that's pretty good. Let's try making them set combat behavior to careless first. and see if that can fix their desire to, go again. We have to set their combat. Yeah, okay. Careless and then aware. That seems right. And then we have to test if the distance thing is actually working, if they exit that. So then we'll have them join silent again, just like you said. I think that was the best way you did it. Is yeah. Rejoin groups. Bound group. Join silent. Oh, it would be a temp group. Temp group join silent group. And then group set leader. It was just leader, right? What do we call him again? Way back here, squad leader. Squad leader. Cool. So rejoin groups and reset. Okay, and then we wanted to get their behavior. Group set behavior. We have it here. Set behavior. Behavior. Cool. Excellent. Cool. So that should work now. Now at the very end, it should combine it back to group. Bounding group usually further forward, so the other group should probably join them. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So go with Overwatch group. Overwatch group, join, bounding group. That makes a lot of sense. And then bound group. Cool. So that should work. Let's test it out. Let's see. Absolutely wicked. 120% you can get this. I'll put it in our wait until leader. Oh, that's they switch once they move forward. That's actually a really good idea, Doskull. I like that a lot. So we're testing a few things here. So wicked, I will put it. I have a GitHub where I put all my useful scripts, and I will put it in a folder there. That's a really good idea. So make sure. So we were talking about before, right? If we look at our MS Paint awesomeness we did here, we can decide, do we want to do a distance or want to do a time? Right now we're doing a time, but a distance I think is arguably better. But the thing I like about time is it's sort of like I'm up, he sees me, I'm down situation. Whereas if you do distance, if they end up having like one guy who's like wobbling, they might be going for a good minute or two, right? And so that could be a problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this guy a little closer, and then we're going to create a marker on him just so we can tell if they get with this or distance. So we'll go to ellipse right on top of him. Ellipse will be 5 by 5. Cool. So that should work. I like that Doskull. What I might do is make this configurable. I also want to make the time configurable. So maybe I make it configurable if it's distance or not. Okay, so let's go here. We're gonna run it. Okay, they're gonna start bounding. Whenever the leader gets within 10. Oh, I put 5. It should have been 10. I'm dumb. Hey, Alias, thanks for stopping by, man. I'm going to post the finished script in the Discord, so when we get to the very end, when they get close enough, should be. I feel like that while loop's failing us right now. Oh, okay. Join silent. I didn't like join silent. Group expected array. Oh, it's units. Oh, we were this close to greatness. Units. Overwatch group. That returns the array. Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna move him a little bit closer too, because don't need to wait that long. Oh, he's like maybe really too close there. Okay, here we go. So he should run up. So I don't think it's when the bounding group. I think it's when the Overwatch group is within a certain distance. Well, that wouldn't make sense, I guess. I feel like they have to get right on top of him. This is weird. Like, they should definitely be there now. Okay. Set leader. Group expected. Bound group. Did I do set leader incorrect? It's team set leader leader, right? Oh, select leader. That's right. Set leader is the team leader. Select leader is the group's leader, right? I think that's correct. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's select leader. Your ads are killing me. Okay. Select leader. That one. But did they combine into one group? They did. So we're doing pretty well here. Let's run it again. Okay. That's weird that it takes so long. I don't know why they're like right up on it before it operates. It's very strange. Anyway. Okay, so she get here. And yep, he's leader again. We do this again. This is working, guys. We made a working script. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, sorry. Group is no longer group 1. I forgot. We'll restart real fast. This seems to be working, though. I think we did it in an hour or so's time. We've made a new useful script for people who want to make their guys bound. I mean, that's not a small accomplishment. I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling pretty good. It's always like, oh, we finally did it, right? When you finally get it working, but yep, it works again. So I don't think it's still group 1, unfortunately, but we can go all groups. We can do select random. There we go. Come on. Why is it not working? We'll write a bunch of... Eventually it has to pick their group. There you go. Oh, I did it too many times. Now they're all doing it, and they're all going to merge back into... This is going to be weird what happens when we get to the end here. Yeah. Oh. There's some... It worked a couple times. So there we go. It's working. Hey, guys, we did it. We made it to where it's working. Now let's do one last test with enemies attacking. Move him over there. And we'll just go ahead and start with some enemies here. Let's see how it looks like when the enemies are shooting at them. If they still move oddly sideways like they did. Run the script. Oh, oops. Run the script. Cool. Okay, so start going. Eventually they're going to run into each other. Yeah, it's totally working. Now they're moving much straighter towards their position. Look at that. I love it. Oh my gosh, they're getting each other's fire, but it is what it is. This is so cool. Look at them. They're freaking doing it, boys. Oh, now they're moving laterally. Hang on. Now we've decided we got to move laterally. Okay, maybe they're not doing exactly what I want, but it's still working. I claim this is a victory. I claim this is a victory for our scripting skills. What do you guys think? Did we do it? Wicked, do you think we did it? Sergio, did we do it? This is so cool, dudes. I'm really pleased. Look at them. They're going to get all the way here. I think we did it. We did it. Doska, we did it. And they're all going to get up here. And they're all back in one squad. And now they can go off. And why is this... That's weird that's not considered complete. That's a different issue. Why is it not considered complete? Maybe we have to remove that waypoint from them. I think we have to remove their waypoint. For some reason, it's not considering it complete. It's very strange. Never seen that happen before. Oh, we almost missed a very important thing. We have to re-enable all the AI on them at the end. We almost forgot to re-enable AI on them. close one. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go enable AI path and enable AI auto combat and target. Just so that everyone is re-enabled. And we're going to here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna units bound group apply.
Maya knows how quality care can bring out a smile.
Cool.
But it's been a few dog years since she was able to enjoy.
Excellent. That was a close one.
Good thing Aspen Dental offers a
Thanks, Aspen Dental. Hope you guys are having fun. I'm having a really good time doing this. I really like scripting. I think it's a super good time. I think it's fun making cool stuff like this. So let's see at the end if it finishes their pathing again. Here we go. They're gonna go. They're gonna fight them. They're gonna fight and they're gonna win. We're gonna kill these guys. Okay, cool. So now they're gonna do their thing where they don't know exactly how to get there, but they're doing better. I feel like the putting them to careless for a minute does help. It increases their. I think it makes them slightly more likely to go straight ahead. So they should get here. And at the very end, when they merge back together, they should have all of their faculties again to be able to move. Oh, that's interesting. That executed right away now. I wonder why that happened. Also, why the Overwatch group was way ahead of them. That's right. Well, we were saying that we thought the bound group should be ahead, but we actually don't know which group's going to be ahead. So that was kind of an awkward transition, but they're able to still move out and do what they need to do afterwards. So we fixed that. They should have the ability to do whatever. Like if I put a whatever friggin' there, should be able to shoot them. Yep. Good to go. We did it. Boom. Cool. That's so cool, guys. So we have a script that is functional. It's actually pretty decently efficient. It's 83 lines long. We could probably get this in 60 lines if we wanted to. Like some of this stuff in the middle could be definitely fixed up to be. Some of it can be removed straight away. Some of it can be fixed up to be slightly more efficient. But overall, I think this is really, really good. And so I always like to put at the beginning of my scripts, basically like a description of what the script. I don't like this the way I did it here. Do I have a good one? Yeah, basically what the script does and then how to call it. So this forces AI squad to do a bounding Overwatch to past in target location, and we'll say warning, all current waypoints are lost during this movement. Ensure you save before. Cool, excellent. And then the example call, we just go here. We go exec VM bounding.sqf, and we go group, and we put target get pos player. Cool. So that's an example call, so that if anyone wants to do this, like how do I call it? Well, you can do it that way. We can also do an exec v like I had it before, this remote exec. This is kind of a sketchy way to do it, but this will work for remote exec as well. Let me take this, put it here, and then you take this, put it here. Cool, excellent. We did it though. We did it. That's so cool. Okay, so then we go to our, I can't find it on here now. So what I will do is I will zip this SQF file and I'll put it in our Discord. That'd be the easiest way to do that. The Discord. I'm I'm actually really jazzed. I'm really jazzed that we did this, guys. We did this during just this stream. In 2 hours and 20 minutes, we made something that didn't exist before. The ability for you to force a unit to do bounding. Like, I'm sure it exists in some of the AI mods that are out there, but this is just like something you can just add to your... I think it's really cool. There's no... I will say that normally I like to have some diag logs, like, you know, executing bound or something like that, but we don't need that. It's not here now. There's some things to fix up. I think making it more configurable with the params, like, how long do you want them to move, or do you want it to be randomized? Do you want it to be a distance that they move or a time? Like, you could do all that sort of stuff, but it's working. I mean, we did it. It is... I don't know how to say that. It's here. Like, I don't know. I think it's really cool. I've got a couple other questions that I had been asked. I hate this ad. I had been asked that I want to get into before we go. Sergio, are you still there? I know you had a question. I want to make sure that we didn't miss it. Where's my... Did I close it? Okay, we'll go to our questions. So Sergio asked a question earlier. And he said, how do I make sure an FNC fire in sync for every client? I have a script that makes an object grow using set object scale smoothly. The effect on global object fires in sync but looks laggy AF. When ran on a local object, the effect is smooth but fires is asynchronous because of RemoteExec. So first thing I will say on your question, set object scale is, where is it? There's a warning about multiplayer. So I thought there was another warning. So basically, from what I understand, is this is not meant to happen. You're not meant to run set object scale in multiplayer. I don't know. I've seen people do it. Obviously, if you watch like Lance Corporal Liru, he does it. But it is not simple to do in multiplayer. So there is this set object scale that you can do on a simple object here. But once you do it on a normal object, when you do it on a simple object in multiplayer, as far as I understand, it will stay. The scaling will stay because it's a simple object. It doesn't update every frame. But if you put it on other objects, like for instance, a unit, to try to make the unit big, the moment that the unit does anything, the next frame that it takes an action, whether it's an animation, a movement, or anything like that, then it will, the scale will reset back to the original scale. So what it talks about here is creating or doing it on a local simple object here. And it says once an object, it will say on the set object scale for as long as it's not moved. Okay. Because this normal object has to actually be attached to something that is local to that player. If you want to do something in multiplayer where everyone can see the scaling, you have to set the object scale for every player, or for everywhere that's local, basically in multiplayer. I know this because I actually asked Lance Corporal Liru from Useless Fodder on Twitter. Liru. I actually asked him this exact question. Because if you look, you can see there's a giant goat in the background of this picture, right? And Liru said, "Don't show the world a giant goat. We need to keep him a secret." Okay, and I said, how does somebody make giant stuff in multiplayer? Using it on every frame? He says, yes, best to do on the mission file. Zeus size causes it to spam in and out of frame when object text is moving. So there is a warning here not to do this in multiplayer. Sure. But if you do it every frame, if Liru can do it, I don't see why you couldn't do it. I imagine you probably need to do it. You have to, here's what I would do. If I was in this situation, if I was trying to do this, I hope this is answering your question, Sergio. And also, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If I am pronouncing it wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. So your set object scale smoothly. This script, I believe, you're going to have to execute. You're going to have to exec VM a function, and that function is going to have to here, I'll show you a second. So let's say you're doing set object, language SQF, set object scale, and we'll do new scale equals 1, right? We'll set object scale, new scale, and then we'll say object, set object scale, new scale, and then new scale plus, right? And we do this in a while loop. While new scale, this is incorrectly done here. While new scale is less than 100, do this. Okay. Or actually, I forgot plus equals new scale plus 1. Okay. So, and it's never a bad idea to have a sleep 0.1 or something like that. Okay, so what I think you're trying to do based upon your question makes it scale smoothly. The effect on the global object fires in sync, but looks laggy AF. Yep. When ran a local object, which I think is you were looking at what was on the Bicky, you saw that it said to do the to do it this way. Create a local object and then attach it, I think is what you're saying. It's smooth, but it fires asynchronous because of RemoteExec. What I'm thinking that you have to do is, you said something. Hang on. It's basically setting a sphere to 2 times of its size, 5% at a time on a 2-second time frame. Okay. Yes, that's basically what we did here, right? Main thing you're doing here is, so it starts with 1, new scale equals new scale plus 0.05, and then say 2. So it looks kind of like this, right? And your object is the sphere. Okay, so what I think has to happen is that so the issue is if you do set object scale globally, every frame, supposedly, according to the Bicky, it's going to saturate the I'll make this bigger so you can see it. It's going to saturate the network. I don't think that's necessarily the case for something like this. So if it's a simple object, like the sphere, I'm pretty sure is going to be a simple object, right? Let's go here. Delete this. Let's start with one that's a sphere that's like 100 centimeters. Okay, and we'll call this sphere. Actually, we'll call this object. Okay, and we'll say save as in our scripting workshop test scale SQF. We'll go params object. Cool. So I think this should work. And I'm going to make this. So I'll try it without making a simple object, and I don't think it will work. What? Object is defined right here. What is it talking about? Sphere? It's so weird. It is absolutely defined. Object is defined in the params right there. Why is it being like this? Am I doing something wrong? Params? Yep. Did I mess up set object scale? Object. Oh, it has to be attached object or a simple object. That's right. It can't. So it does have to be a simple object no matter what. You can't do it on a non-simple object or attached to something. Okay. Yeah, so his issue that he's having is that he wants it to be synced up so that it happens for everyone. Where's our special states? Am I wrong? Where's simple object? Are you not able to make this as a simple object in here? It's weird. Am I crazy? There should be a checkbox that makes simple object. Okay, we'll attach it to something else. We'll attach it to attach it to a can.
Sorry, party's canceled. Waiting on the cable internet guy.
Stupid ads. Why Zach Braff? Zach Braff, you've not been relevant for, I don't know, 15 years? We can make this a simple object. Am I crazy? There should be a simple object button, right? Sorry, I was trying to start the music, but it's gonna go to another ad, I think. Oh, we're good. No, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I want it to happen. It does happen to everyone. I just want it to fire seamlessly at the same time for everyone. So I wonder, here's a thought. What if you, now that I understand what your issue is that you're talking about, what if you run the script where you have wait until I don't know, some variable, actually it would be I know it's bad to do some global variable equals true. What if you do this? So you run your script. You run your script on everyone well before you want to actually make that thing big. Well before you want to make the object big. Okay? And then you have it sitting in a wait until. And I think wait until you want to add a sleep, if I remember correctly. I thought you wanted to sleep in here. Yeah. So wait until, and then you go like sleep 0.1 or something like that. So what if you do that? And so basically everyone has this script started with RemoteExec. It's all ready to go, and you do it minutes before you want to actually execute it. And then at the time you want to execute it, trigger or something like that. And then you public variable some global variable to true, and then it executes. I think that's probably how I do it. If it's not gonna be too overbearing, if you're not already jumbling too many variables, I don't have an issue with public variables. The scope with which the Arma missions are running public variables, I don't think are that big of a deal. I would do it that way, because then it should execute seamlessly across everyone at the same time. They all should then get into this next one. even, I mean, you could even just remove this sleep 01 and just start it maybe like a minute beforehand. Not that this wait until is going to be a huge thing, but I don't know how busy your the rest of your mission is. So that's what I would do. I would just have it pre-positioned to execute, and then that wait until should keep everything sitting still, and then execute your growing bulb script. Did that help? I think that's just that's not really a straight solution, but is an out of the box or thinking out of the box solution that I think will get you to where you're trying to go. I hope that helped. Let me know if it helped. I'm gonna check something real fast. Whew, it's getting late. I think this is probably, if it doesn't overburden you to have another global variable to worry about, because you can always just zero out the variable afterwards. You can set null, I think, or nil, public variable nil. I can't remember exactly how you delete a variable for that. Okay, cool, Sergio. I appreciate you tuning in, by the way, and the follow you gave me earlier on Twitter. I hope that can help. Let me know how it goes. I'm definitely interested in knowing if we got you the solution you're looking for. So that was Sergio's question. We had Mash. We answered Mash's question. We answered Alien's question. Alias's question. Sticks. Okay, so I know Sticks is not on here now, but he'll watch this later, so I'll put it. Set it for the trigger script within the init player local. Exactly what I was thinking. Just time exactly. That makes a lot of sense, Doscal. I would do it right there in init player local. Actually, have this running from init player local. That's totally great. I think that's the best way to do it. Why even worry about running a different script? Just run it directly in init player local, and it can just sit there waiting. As a function, I'll tell you, if you have a while loop or a wait until, make sure you're running it in an FNC, so you can do like FNC grow equals this, right? Okay, I would do it that way. I do it that way, and then exec. I think it's exec FNC grow. I'll do it that way. Otherwise, the wait until. So if you exec as an FNC, I think it's exec. If you do it that way, this wait until won't stop the rest of your init player local. Because otherwise, if you just have this sitting in init player local, this wait until will stop everything below it. So unless I guess it's the last thing you put in there, I always feel weird about having anything that's a loop or anything that causes your scripts to stop running in any of the inits. I don't know if it would hurt you, but I'm always weirded out by that. Anyway. Oh, yeah, you have them. See if she functions, because you're smarter than me. Sergio, what are you working on, by the way? I'm interested to know. I'm going to move on to Six's question, but I'd love to know what you're making, because I love people's, the things that people make. So Six's question is it possible to load a new terrain through a script for continuity? I mean, scenario starts on terrain A and then continues on terrain B. Now, somebody already gave a great answer to this question on the Twitter. It might have been you, Doscal. Doscal. I always forget if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I have too many windows open now. So go here, profile. Okay. Yeah, Okila Swiss said had a great answer for it. So here's the question initially on that Sticks asked. And he wants multiplayer. And Keela Swiss said you can make a multiplayer campaign, which is very interesting. I've never seen this before. I didn't know this was a thing. But basically, a series of interconnected missions that follow a sequential order, creating a storyline groups players play together. It has a campaign display, and then host server mission selection menu, and there's like skip lobby. There's a bunch of stuff. So this was a good solution for his exact question, was this multiplayer campaign. My thought was something slightly different, and so Sticks, when you're watching this later, oh yeah, and Alias Alpha made something that's talked about something that's pretty cool. This Killzone Kid made a thing that basically forces people to migrate over to another server, which I think is kind of a cool thing. So if you look, he's on. This is pretty cool. I hate the music, but come on. So he executes a script. That says a few hours later. And in this instance, he's actually joining another server right now. His client is joining another server currently. And then whenever this goes away, you'll see he's on a completely different map. There was some replication issues also. But you can see he's on a completely different map and a completely different spot because he joined a different server. So I thought it was kind of a cool way to do it. But that's not, I think, exactly what Styx was looking for. So, Styx. So what I would do in this instance is I would create mission 1 and then have create mission 2 on another map. And this will not be seamless, but you'll see kind of what I'm talking about in a second of why I think this answers your question. So at the end of mission 1, you can save information into the user file that can then be retrieved by mission 2. So for instance, let's say that you wrote a script that you want, let's say you wanted to make sure that the players at the beginning of mission 2 are in a certain location, wherever the first mission ended, and they have the exact weapon and ammo that they ended mission 1 with. So the same amount of ammo and the same weapon. Then what you could do is you can save it as a. Let me pull up how I did this before on Malden Overrun. Save. So if you want to save onto a multi, and this works in single player as well, but if you want to save into a multiplayer thing, you do this thing called profile namespace set variable. And what that does is it declares a variable in the profile namespace, which is the actual user profile. So it's saving it into a digital form, into a file, and it's flagged as this name. For this instance, for Overrun, it's is infected. And then what it saves there is this next thing, its next value this is an array that I saved into is infected. That way, whenever I wanted to retrieve that data is infected, then I would go and I'd say, that save state, sorry, and then I have to go to my loading script. Load. Oh, sorry, it's a init. It's on init. So in the init, it then checks for if is infected exists in the profile namespace, and if it does, it then pulls it. And so the I hate these ads are driving me crazy. So and then it basically, I'm not actually pulling it right now, but basically it gets is infected from the profile namespace. A get variable, there was set variable and get variable, right? And so what I would do if I wanted to create it's not going to be perfectly seamless, right? They're going to have to load into the next mission. But what it allows you to do is you can, at the very end of the first mission, whenever that mission ends, run a script that saves whatever information you want to bring over to the next one into a variable in the profile namespace. And you can actually just do one variable, because that profile namespace is accessible from every single mission that runs on there. That's why in KP Liberation, if let's say I played KP Liberation a long time ago on, I don't know, Malden, and then I actually delete that PBO off of my server. I don't have KP Liberation on Malden anymore. And then a year later, I load Malden back on my server. When I do that, or when I load the PBO back on there, when I run that PBO, it's going to look in the profile namespace of my profile and see if there's anything that's saved under KP Liberation Malden, which I think is the name. They append the name of the map onto the end of the save file. And if there is, it'll load my old save, even though the PBO file is gone, because nothing's saved in that. All the stuff that's saved is always in the profile namespace. So what you can basically, that allows you to then create continuity between your missions. If you create a set of scripts that saves everything about a player, what equipment they have, basically if you save their loadout, you could then just load it with the next mission. You'd have the mission check, is there a loadout saved for this player? And you could save it by their player ID even. And if so, then load their loadout. If not, give them a default loadout or something like that. So that's what I would do for continuity. I think what you were looking for was that Kilo Swiss answer of the multiplayer campaign, but that looks a little bit more complicated than what I'm showing you. I would use profile namespace set variable to save variables, that arrays basically that have the information that you want in them. But be careful, make sure to name them, because like I have this is infected one for Malden Overrun. It's not a great way to do it because I have to append the name of each map, because there might be somebody who wants to play Overrun on Malden and then they want to play Overrun on Altus. If I have all the data for Overrun on Malden, it's just saved in the same file that Altus would pull from, everything will get screwed up because Altus has a different number of points. Altus has a different names. Like everything's different on Altus's save data. So I have to make sure that I'm saving to is infected Malden, faction bank Malden, unlock tracker Malden, instead of a basic name. Because then when I get to Altus, I want to make sure that I'm loading the data that's only related to the Altus map. And you do that by appending the map name, is what they do in KP Liberation. It just means that I would say like episode 1 save data is what I call the variable that you set in the profile namespace. And then if you want to go from mission 2 to mission 3, I'd say episode 2 save data, and you'd load that in mission 3. Hopefully that makes sense. Sergio said, I modify and maintain an escape type mission for my group about this issue. It's a way to revive players by throwing Cameline having a bubble grow around it, revive people. That's really cool. I like that. Is that just is that a internal one, Sergio? Is that an internal mission? You don't share that outside? That's pretty cool. Let's find this Arcadia. I love Arcadia stuff. Okay, and then I have another question from Ray that's pretty long. I will read the question and I'll give a couple thoughts, and then the actual answer to this one's gonna have to stay till next time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, by the way. Hope this has been helpful. What we're doing in this workshop. I appreciate people who've been in chat helping me out the whole way. Doskull, Alias, Ray, Sergio. Who am I missing? Wicked, thanks for stopping by. Who? Somebody else is helping me, and I feel really bad that I'm not remembering. Doskull, the ace answers a lot. Dobby was here. Thanks, Dobby. Dalar, thanks for being here. Hoodle, of course, thanks for your help. Polly, thanks for hanging out. I can't remember who else was here. I'm spacing out. If you're here and you help me, I'm sorry that I didn't say your name. I do have it public. It's just not published, so I don't think people would use it. I get that. Oh, Farsight, of course. Thanks for hanging out. It is kind of a podcast. So tell me if this is something you guys would listen to, because maybe we can get at least 10 people listening to it. I thought about making a podcast that was literally this concept, calling it like the Arma, the Arma Maker's Toolkit or something like that. And basically it was just focused on either talking about different scripting issues that we're into, or how to do things interestingly, like how to do not necessarily tutorials, but just talking about the concepts around it, and then maybe bringing on people who have made really cool missions and talk to them about how the missions work and how you do it. Specifically, my thought was like, on the back end, I know Rubik's Raptor, Jay, decently well through online. We talk sometimes. I would love to have his mission makers explain how they make 100+ person missions with all this crazy explosions with no desync and lag. Like, would that be interesting? I don't know. Do it all in Brazilian Portuguese. Hey, that's cool. I didn't realize that you were Brazilian. I like having people from around the world. It's cool hanging out. So that's just something I thought about. Just talking with mission makers, having discussions about interesting things and kind of how people go about it, what their perspectives are, that sort of thing, as like generalized ones, and then other ones that are more specific to like, I was having an issue with RemoteExec because I was trying to do this, and like the thing I mentioned earlier about the RemoteExec being useful because you can actually pass in an object. I thought it was kind of cool. So just an idea. I thought about doing it. I don't know if I actually will, but I have way more ideas than I have time for. let's answer a race question, and let's check in on our chat GPT to see if he was able to figure out what we asked him to do. Okay. Ray said, pretending about late, I would love some discussion on some character enhancements that can be done. For example, you can increase the unit's health by hijacking their handle damage event handler to reduce all damage by 8%, or you can use set custom aim coefficient to reduce weapon sway, but those are the only two I know. Anything be cool to discuss? I make some RPG light leveling systems for upcoming project. Argme, what's up? It's good to hear you, man. On that note, such a persistent saves on Liberation. Hey, we kind of talked about that in other missions. It'd be cool, especially first-time caveats and changing them. I know for Liberation, there's a save manager and a save data variable you could theoretically piggyback extra info into. There's any side effects you care, that'd be cool to know. Okay, so I will kind of mention this tangentially. I was looking at a way to do a... Okay, I'll just come out and say I wanted to do a Girls Frontline mission in Arma, and I thought that if I did a Girls Frontline mission, the default health system just will not do. So instead, what I was thinking is giving the players a literal health bar that would display on screen as a UI element, and I'll give them like whatever 500 health or something like that, and basically every time the handle damage, every time the damage event handler would execute, it would zero out the damage or the hit, whatever. Probably handle damage. It would zero out the damage to the player, and would instead take away from this local variable on the player's object that was their health. It would take a chunk away from it, and it would be like, it probably wouldn't be 1-to-1 because the damage numbers in Arma could be like kind of insane. Like falling like 10 feet can do like 15 damage, but falling 12 feet can only do like 1500 damage or something. It's like kind of crazy. But basically, it would be like every time you get hit within a certain range, like if you got shot, it would be like 50 damage. If you got blown up, it'd be, because that's more in line with Girls Frontline, right? There's like Girls Frontline is like their bots, and they have little health bars, and when you shoot each other's health bars, and when your health bar gets to 0, you don't die. What you do is you just lose the ability to move, and then other players could come up and fix you, and it would basically, as they're fixing you, it would increase your health bar, and it'll give you the ability to move again. Your character would no longer be frozen. So that's kind of an idea of how you can use event handlers. You basically are intercepting the damage, and you're preventing all the damage from occurring. You just set their health to max, and then you affect other variables within that. Another idea I thought was like a paintball thing, or even like an airsoft thing, where players don't die, they just lose their weapon when they get shot, and then they have to walk over and rearm back at base, and then come back out and do stuff. So it would be like a paintball or an airsoft thing, but nobody's dying, right? Because that doesn't happen in those games. I thought that could be kind of fun. So those are ways you could use those event handlers to intercept. And then his save data thing, I think I kind of talked about it. The KP Liberation save data thing, I would love to dig into a little bit more. I do have a video coming out soon where I go through how to actually modify Liberation to bring it to a new map, to port it to a new map. I also have in my backlog a live stream where I go through the entire process of adding new unit types to KP Liberation. So let's say there's a mod that you want to use that is not part of the default list of mods that are available. This video will show you how to actually modify KP Liberation in that way, on how to actually add those units in, both for the Blue 4 side, how to actually add those units as spawnable units in the Blue 4 side, or how to put those units in the Op 4 side, and kind of some ideas of how best to do that. So I'm going to put that in chat right now. That's something you guys are interested in. It is one of my most popular videos. How many views does it have now? 22,000 views. It was a live stream, so I was really surprised that it took off as much as it did. But it's makes me happy. So we'll go ahead and put it in chat right now. Would it still hurt the player, like limit their speed and aim and whatnot? So if you intercept the damage with a event handler, you can just set their health back to full again, so it doesn't affect anything. It immediately sets the health back to full. You can also it's kind of weird how you intercept it, but you can prevent it from actually doing the damage at all. So if you're saying like how would I do it, I would do it in airsoft or paintball mode where it's just instant. The moment you're hit, it's just instantly you're out, right? In the girls frontline thing, I'd probably do it to where nothing is affected. You don't lose any capability at all until you get to 0, and then immediately you're frozen, and somebody's got to help you. But you could still talk, you could still look around, everything like that. You just can't move, you can't aim, you can't do anything like that. That's how I would do it. But if you use the event handler, it doesn't actually, you can make it to where it doesn't actually cause the damage at all. Now, last thing, let's see how what ChatGPT came up with. So I do have a little ChatGPT assistant called the Arma SQF script handler. If you use ChatGPT, search for this under Explore GPTs, and you'll be able to find this. It's pretty good at, I basically forced it to utilize the Biki and a couple other sources to find the best stuff. It's a bit more accurate than average ChatGPT, but it's not 100% accurate. Let's see what it came up with for our bounding Overwatch thing. So it came up with parameters, a squad and target pos, which I told it already to bring that. And so its exec VM is pretty similar to mine. Divide the squads into 2 teams. Okay. They decided rather than finding half and then just pushing them in there for each index, basically during a for each, it goes every other one. It either pushes into team 1 or team 2, and then it has to actually see, it only pushes it back into an index, into an array, but does it actually push it into the squad? I don't think so. So team 1, team 2, and then yep. So you can see it missed something very basic. It created an array, T1, Team 2. Oh, I see how it's doing it. That makes sense. It uses do move instead of creating 2 separate squads. Instead of separating them out into 2 squad objects or 2 group objects, it keeps them in the same group, but it does do move for them separately. That's very interesting. And so it creates a function here. It says private move team do these things. And then it calculates how far it has to go for bounding and how many steps you would like to bound. That's kind of an interesting idea. Instead of having it to where they only bound a certain amount of time, have it bound a certain amount of distance, or a certain amount of like how many steps you would like it to bound. So how many bounds would it take to get there? That's an interesting way to do it. And then the distance, of course, is then the distance divided by the steps. And then this is a really complicated way to do it, which I think is very interesting. But basically, it calls this move team function it created, and for team 1 and then team 2. So that's very interesting. But I noticed that it doesn't do anything to prevent them from laying down to provide covering fire. Or it doesn't do anything to prevent them from getting in that mindset of the combat move where they just stop moving and they sit there and just return fire forever. It doesn't force them to go. But I think it's a very interesting way. This reasonably does seem, by initial look, does seem to work. But I'm not sure if it actually, like, there's probably some details in here that don't work, but I'm not sure it exactly meets the desire we had. But it's a very interesting thing. This is a decently written, as Doug said, a decently written foundation for this. So if this is an example of how the SQF script helper, I made it to help people. I don't get any money. It doesn't give me any, I don't get anything for it if you use it. But it's a good way of, because it's using these references, it understands Arma code a little bit better, and it kind of does a decent job, like I said, a solid foundation. It does a better job of conceptualizing how you'd have to actually do something in SQF. So, that's pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed. I thought it would do something dumber. This wouldn't work because basically the squad that's moving would just lay down and keep firing. It doesn't stop them from firing. The bounding squad would continue to engage in combat. But literally, from what I can see, all it would take is telling those units that they can't target, or finding a way to remove their targeting and shooting. And I think that would still work. So very different way to go about it than I would have, but I think it's really interesting that it came up with that. So good job, ChatGPT. With that, guys, it's getting pretty late here, so I think it's a good time to call it. Thanks to Hoodle and Vault for renewing those subs. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. If you guys would like to see when I'm going to do the next one, you'd like to show me what you've been making in Arma, if you would like to ask questions, you'd like to come play Arma with us or play other games, come join us in the Discord. Discord.gg/useless fodder will get you to our Discord. The FOD Squad Discord is 1,000-person strong Discord, primarily run Arma, but a lot of other games. But there's also people in there that don't play tactical games at all. Because really what we're trying to build is not just a gaming group, but an honest-to-God group of people from all over the world, different walks of life, different political ideologies, socioeconomic status, whatever, come together for a common cause of supporting one another, being there when the chips are down, having each other's backs, and finding the humanity in each other through playing games, through hanging out, chatting, talking about life, learning a deeper amount about each other, and building that connection that's stronger than a lot of those surface level things. I based it on what it was like to be in the Army. I was in the Army for 9 years, and when I left the Army, I missed that tight-knit feeling about people who I would have never met any other way, but just happened to be on a squad with them. And then even though he may have been a jock, I might have been a nerd, he may have been a Republican, I was a independent, he was a, even though all the things that would normally divide us, because we spent that time together, because we trained together, because we PT'd together, because we went to the range together, because we did everything together, we formed a bond that was deeper than all that. That's what the FOD Squad's all about. So if you're interested in something like that, I'd highly recommend joining us in the FOD Squad. It's a great community, like the 1,000-person strong. Awesome place to ask about life or other things that you're doing. Or ask questions of people who may have been where you're trying to go, or just have somebody to talk to. I'm also I'm Useless Fodder on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, basically any social media you can find me as Useless Fodder. I post mostly on Twitter, though I need to stop because it's not good for my mental health. So you can find me there. If you want to follow, I do try to post any of the cool stuff I make. And of course, I'm on YouTube and Twitch. If you would like to come view any future live streams, I try to make tutorial videos on YouTube as much as I can. I'm a little behind right now, but we'll get there. Thanks for everyone who's dialed in, for tuned in. Thanks for everyone who is locked in. I had a really fun time going over all this. Good solid 3-hour stream. It's longer than I intended on doing, but I'm really proud of what we made. I will be posting this script in the Discord under the Arma channel right after this. So if you're looking for this script, you could find it there. And eventually I will put it in the GitHub that I was talking about before. Let me bring up GitHub real fast. GitHub. There we go. Cool. And I will put it in our FOD Squad Arma 3 scripts, which I'm putting in chat. It's also a great place to get other scripts that we've worked on together. Just a useful script dump for us, basically. So, yeah, and I'll call it, excuse me. I will call it AI bounding.sqf probably. So you can find it there. That's where I'm going to push it to eventually. I just don't have it loaded on this one right now. Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you in the next op. I think they're doing one this weekend. And if not, I'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks. Useless Fodder. Out of here. Bye, guys.